Good morning, people. Good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening. I hope you all are doing well. But more importantly, blue morning to you all, because in fact, it is the Blue Morning Show. And yes, it's a happy day because we got our man. And I hope you're eating blue, sleeping blue, and waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. Let's get into it. Let's see those we already have in the chat. I hope everyone is doing well. And if you're listening, please do let me know if the sound is okay. That does go a long way for me because I do this alone. Although I'm seeing signal in my face, there's a chance it's not sounding well. But that's by the way, let's get into it. My voice is a bit better today. Hopefully I don't lose it in the middle of the show. And I'll still keep my eyes open for updates because quite a few stuff is still happening. Not maybe not strictly about transfers, but we'll still hear some stuff that we didn't know happened behind the scenes. Greetings, bro. Again, big up, big shout out to all the blues. Shout out to you too, Phil R7. I hope you're doing well. And guys, as you're coming in, be sure to drop in the like on the stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's get it to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. We're inching closer and closer. Here it says again, I told you all, be patient yesterday. That the deal of Enzo will get done. And boy, yep, you're very correct. You were very, very correct, brother. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Just 1 second, I have to find a way to share the link to the panelists so that whoever has the time to join us will do so. Looks like I'm going to struggle a bit here. Just give me 1 second, people. Right, we go ahead. What else do we have lined up here? What else do we have here? We have Phil R7, much love. All is blue. Blue morning, Kachila panel and chat. Blue morning to you too, Leon Lynn. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. And again, we can't preach this enough. Yes, please, as you enter, like the stream and subscribe if you haven't. The likes, more importantly, you don't really have to subscribe. The likes to go along with the like. The more you like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the more people will get to join us there on the show. So yes, please keep liking the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. You people are absolute legends. I cannot appreciate you guys enough. Big up to my brother Mikhail. Sorry I haven't reached out to know how you're doing. Again, I hope things are well. Again, on your end, I'll reach out to you as soon as possible, brother. And thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I know you're very, very, again, you're very, very busy, but whenever time allows, you join to support your brother. Big up, Coachella. Hope you're doing great. And what did I say about the Enzo Fernandez deal? Told you it's a deal. It's a done deal. Again, good vibes. Yes, again, that's a Dominic Maximilian and Neche. Thank you so much for saying that. Again, we like hope. We like, again, keeping it positive. That does go a long way. So thank you, yeah, for always being positive. Excuse me about the cough. We like keeping it positive, yeah. So that's a huge plus for us. And just give me 1 second. Again, I have a lot going. I have to try to arrange quite a lot of stuff here. 1 second. But we're good. At least the system isn't freezing this morning. It's become even more complex because I had to add even one more system to reduce the stress on the one I'm looking at right now. That's by the way. Thank you so much for saying that. Again, big up Kuchila, big up to you too. Santiago Munoz, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, brother. Big up everyone, big up to you too. Big up Kuchila. Finally, we got man more likes for Igbali, Todd Boehly, and all the other board members. They did quite well. They did not give up. They persisted. And then we got a man. I don't, again, we'll look into the details later as how everything unfolded. More likes from Enzo. Come on, guys. Let's get it. Let's get it to 400 likes today. I don't think we've ever done 400. We've gotten close to 400, but we haven't done that. But more importantly, yes, keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys. You people are absolute legends. Yes, Enzo. Keep saying that. Yep, we did it. We did it. Feded, nice to see you, Feded. I hope you're doing well. Morning again. I have a hangout. Oh, did you drink for it? I don't blame you. It's worth drinking for it. Again, probably at that time I was so tired I couldn't even. What did I do when the show ended? The evening show ended. I had to go take a serious nap. Yep. Thank you so much, guys. Again, I appreciate all the support. Um, Nicole, my instinct never fails me. That's a good thing. So the good, the saying, the old saying that says again, trust your instinct. Instinct really works for you. Crazy last night. Chelsea have won this transfer window. I think we have. I think we signed two of the best young players available on the market. Even not more than three of them actually. About four of them. They're all, you can say they count us as one of as some of the best young talents, emerging talents in Europe. Ziyech news, nothing yet, but again, I heard something that sounded suspicious. That sounded as if that they may well cancel the loan. I'm not sure again, but I'm sure we'll get more information as to what's going on. But I haven't seen anything new. He missed his chance at the PSG. If you say he missed his chance, I want to understand whatever that's going on. Is it Ziyech's fault, or is it PSG's fault, or is it Chelsea's fault? I really do want to know what happened. But I think they still pushed to keep him. From what I read, though I was a bit sleepy when I read that report. Chelsea sent PSG the wrong document. Ooh, somebody's getting fired. Somebody's getting fired. That is seriously crazy, really. What in the world is that? Wow. The poor guy is going to be really bitter because he's always wanted to leave. Not always. Again, from last summer, he's always wanted to leave the club. Here we go, baby. Yes, here we go. To my brother Tobeho. Keep saying it, bro. I appreciate that. I'm going to share the other window. Although I don't want, I wasn't ready to start. I'm not yet ready to start talking about Assan's Ryan. But let me just open it. I want to open the other window that will make it easier for me to share the link to the panel. Maybe I should just go in with this one. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'll be back. I'll be back with you guys. This is going to cause me problems. Really, so I shouldn't have done that. Just give me 1 second, people. 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, this is going to be even more difficult. So I'm better off using the other screen, if that makes sense. I don't know if you understand what I mean now. Okay, that's by the way. We'll move on from that one. Here we go, baby. It's done and dusted. He's a Chelsea player. Nothing changes that. Yep. Give me 1 second. I'm everywhere now. This is really annoying me. And this one says, we had the whole board in Portugal, which means they were serious. They wanted to get the deal done. They pushed so hard. Rui Costa was press resistant, but yet we beat him. I wouldn't say we beat him. Maybe he compromised, but because it's business for all parties involved. So I would never say again we beat him. Big up to you, my brother. Again, I hope you enjoyed the transfer deadline day. Enzo is here. Yep, he's here. I was again I had to take a break to go pick up my boy from school. Yep, first I had to take a break to go take him to school. Then again, I took about the second time I didn't take a break. I had to shut it down. That was in the evening. So it was a tough one for me because I had to break it up. I had to leave and come back again. But it worked. And at the same time, I was watching your show. You had a lot of people there. And congratulations to you. You're doing so well. The channel is growing. And believe me, deep down, I will always support. And I know you will always support me too whenever, again, you have the time, the chance to do so. So I appreciate all the support. Much love to you, Brian. Whenever you can, share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. And when I get there, again, I will look at it. So that's, by the way, I will talk about it, so to speak. We move on. The next, James Rodriguez. I don't agree. If you say that, I seriously do not agree. I think he's more equipped than James Rodriguez, but I'm not going to get into that. With you saying he's the next James Rodriguez, which means he's not going to live up to the hype. No, I don't think that's the case here. That's, by the way, Ziyech is a PSG player. So he went through because I read there were some issues. I wasn't sure what the issues were. But yeah, again, glad to hear that he went through finally. So, yep, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to share the link with the panelists here. I'm sure a lot of them probably will be itching to come join the conversation. What we have here. Hi again, Clement up and Clement. Hi to you too. I hope you're doing well. Let me see what else we have. The chat is on fire. I hope I'll be able to catch up. But at one point, I really have to scroll to the very bottom so that we can start talking about why we're here. I think anyway, we don't have much to talk about other than Hakim Ziyech. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Let me see. Great negotiations by Bali and Todd Boehly. I am going to make my son's name say Bali. If that makes you happy, if you feel like it has any effect, and then as to your son again becoming what he wants to be in life, yeah, you go ahead. But that's by the way, we'll move on from that one. Let me see what else we have. Anything else? Morning, all again. What a wonderful day it is again. The haters are out in force today. Hating. We have been ruining football since 1905. Up to Chelsea, Richard Evans. We're drinking their tears. That's what we do. Let them cry all they want. We didn't do anything wrong. We're smart enough to find out that we actually can sign this many players. Give them a long-term contract, and then you will help us again survive what I call the FFP trap. Yep. But that's by the way, we'll move on from that one. Much love to all of you. What else do we have here? I feel so bad for Ziyech because he was expecting to go to PSG on loan. Didn't he? I think he completed the move. What happened? I'm confused as what you guys are saying here. Someone's saying he went through. Someone's saying he didn't go through. But just give me 1 second here. Let me share the link with the panelists. Just 1 second. What's going on with my system here? I will be with you in a bit. Right. Again, what else do we have? So yeah, I feel bad if it didn't go through, but again, I think the whole thing. I think it happened for him. Really, it didn't happen for him. So, but yeah, we move on. This one says, anything new, Ziyech? It's a PSG player. Please say that. Okay. Ziyech is a PSG player. You want? Is that a way of you getting me to pray for him? Really, I want it to go through because yeah, the guy is. I want him to start enjoying his football. Ziyech can sweep again at the stands. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna be saying that. I don't think that's nice. You can argue he wasn't treated fairly, especially under Thomas Tuchel, which was why again you could say his urge to leave stems from the way stems from the way Thomas Tuchel treated him because he was dropped again out of the team at the time. He was one of our best players at the time. He was again firing on all cylinders, creating chances. Again, doing well, adapted to the physicality of the Premier League, dropping deep to help defensively, winning aerial duels and all that. I don't want to go into it because really, again, it hurts my feelings really because I know we can get the best out of him. Had Thomas Tuchel handled the situation well. Well, now Chelsea again have the cancer. Good luck with the guy. What is wrong with you? Why are you guys? Why are you sounding like that? But that's by the way. Let's move on. What else do I have to look at here? Is that directed at anybody here? Very mature if he remains the player simply because we cannot register all the new signings. Yep, I think you've said that severally. We again, but let's see how the club handles that situation. We move from that one. What else do we have here? Again, now 4-2-3-1 people. Again, we suffer Kante. We suffer Kante and Enzo. Then again, Felix as 10. Software, I'm not sure what you mean. You mean two of them as a 2-6-6. Susan Gieson, did I miss you? Did I miss you? Okay, all right. I pray Enzo don't flop again. I hope he performs. His performance again, measures the money we're paying for him. I think he will perform. It's so much talent, so much. Again, he's well equipped to even let me say overperform, if anything, if that makes any sort of sense. But I'm happy. More importantly, let's go again now. 4-2-3-1. Yes, I've read that one. Let's see. Uche again, Igwe again. Why can't Enzo wear number 6? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about his jersey number. I don't know. Please, guys, keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Thank you for all your contributions by watching and also by dropping a like on the stream. Those things do go a long way. Thank God, Chelsea, we're good to go. Yeah, we're good to go, really, with the signing of Enzo Fernandez. Jimmy J. Morgan, 17-year-old forward, joined Chelsea from Southampton. I heard that. I didn't know. I thought it was a joke, maybe. Okay, that's a huge one. For anyone on iOS, there's a heart icon. If you click it, a small pop-up menu shows up. and you can select from all the icons there, 100% something like a flower also. Click on them and you will see it floating on the screen there. But that's, by the way, again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch up with everything I have on the chat in the chat right away, but I'm going to say hello to some OGs in the chat here. Yep. Let me say, kindly, could you again let me know again how many players signed again will be registered in the Champions League? That's not something I'm well acquainted with, but I'm sure I'll have somebody on soon that again is well acquainted with that. Let me say, I think Esamano will probably help answer that question. I think he knows. He seemed to be knowledgeable of the whole situation. Hello, Coach Big Up. I hope you're doing well. Again, I'm better today. Now I can rest again, but I feel so bad about Hakim Ziyech. Did it not go through? You let me know. That will piss me off, really. Can Holla, let's see what else we have here. Can you've asked that question before. Ghana Charleston said, okay, that's good news. Again, I hope to see Kante on the field very soon, February this month. I think that's what has it's been what we were told when he got injured. Big up, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, people. Let's keep it going. Right now, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, and apologies if I haven't said hello to you. I've said hello to my bro here. I've said hello to Tobago, hello to Esamano, Comics. It's been a minute. How are you doing? Big up to you. I hope you're doing well. Who else haven't I said hello to? Priestley Chidi again. I hope you're doing well. I'll try to get your subsequent contributions, guys. Please be patient with me. PSG were sent the right documents, but they were not signed. Wow, that's what caused the problem. And by the time they got them signed, it was too late. Maybe they can grant again a bit of an extension to get it completed. Did Enzo on Chelsea camp right now? I think it should be. Let's see what else we have here. Potter will have again a big squad to control. How will he manage? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that right now. Will Enzo play as a pivot? Probably as one of the 2 6s. You can say I've taken my time to really understand that he's a deep lying playmaker. He's very effective operating from the deeper areas. But let's see. I wouldn't mind seeing him playing closer to the final third. But that's, by the way, anything else here? Okay, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, and I'll try to get your subsequent contributions. Alex here says again, Osimhen in the summer. I don't think it happens, but I don't want to get into that right now. The only people to blame are PSG. If they wanted him, they had plenty time before yesterday to do it. So maybe they changed their mind. Would keep him. He's a good player, but that compounds the decision on who be registered for Champions League, maybe if he makes way. But I don't know. Ziyech to PSG collapsed because of deadline, timeline, and all that. Thank you, guys. He shared the link. I'm not sure what the link is for. So I'm really going to scroll to the very again. I will just highlight a few of the comments. I'm going to come to you, Emperor. How are you doing, bro? How do you feel about this particular signing? What do you think he brings to us, and how well do you think he'd do? I'm seeing some people calling him the next James Rodriguez. I don't think he is. I think he's well equipped, way too well equipped than James Rodriguez. And big up to everyone. First of all, I hope you're all doing well.
Hello, Coach. How are you doing?
You too, brother.
Everybody in the chat, big up, Bobby. Hope good recovery is coming through to you. All the blessings to you, brother. Enzo Fernandez, yeah, we are here. We have a midfielder. Chelsea have signed a midfielder. I don't think we ever saw the day where Chelsea signed a midfielder. But
how long now? I remember you saying for how long haven't we haven't? Is it up to 3, 4, 5 years that we haven't signed a midfielder?
5 years or so. If we're keeping it 100, I think the last one was Kovacic. But yeah, man. So it shows like how the decline has been over those years. But I feel Enzo is not enough. I would love him to sit next to a DM. Maybe Santos. I don't know. Maybe Santos is going to be our guy. But we've yet to see a lot of Santos, and he's away with Brazil. Apparently, he's performing real good there. I think 4 games.
Which makes again helps us with the argument he counts as an exceptional talent to help us
Exactly.
get them a work permit. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so with Santos, I think he's gonna be one of our players because I think he's under 21. Is he?
Yeah, he's 18.
Is Yeah, so he gets registered because of that whole clause because apparently we can only register like 25 players that are above 21 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's I don't know how many it is that are homegrown. I think somebody can confirm that one that are under 21 that are homegrown. I don't know how many we can find. We
Mm-hmm.
can register, sorry. So that part I don't understand. And with the ZH thing, he didn't fall through that. So the deal, went sideways in the last minute. So he's coming back to Chelsea. Um, and I think he's
But I'm
disappointed.
seeing something that's saying he could still move to Turkey and some other place. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So uh maybe he might move. But yeah, with Enzo, going back to Enzo, a box to box midfielder, good vision, can create, he has a good shot on him. There's a lot of positives to his game. I've yet to see a lot of negative because I didn't watch a lot of him. I watched him in the World Cup. I can't lie and say I've been following him ever since Benfica or before that. I think we will be lying. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good addition to our club. Especially this recruitment. Like, yo, I'm just grateful. Like, we got it right. I remember when we had this conversation earlier on, our coach, and I was like, Chelsea need like 7-5 players. And right now, the way we are moving, it seems we don't have a plan. And this was under Tuchel and Boehly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is all over the place, right? And we need 7-5 players. And I was like, our ambition all depends on how far we're gonna do in the next 2 seasons, right? In the next transfer windows. And for him to
Mm-hmm.
do it in one transfer window, I'm like, okay, you are showing me levels right now because this takes 2 windows. We we get a recruitment in, they get right into it. They're like, yeah, Chelsea don't have a right wing. Go get Noni. We don't have a left wing who's direct. Go get Mudrich. He's up and coming. He's young. He fits the bill. Potter likes him. Let's go. Get a defensive a defender. It's sorted. Get a replacement for James. And I understand why they sent Gusto back to his club because SP is there. So I think SP is gonna leave in the summer, and he just fits in. Like he just fits in. So everything is moving in the good direction for Chelsea right now. I'm very, very gassed. The only game that I really, really want to watch is the West Ham game. Like, I understand the Fulham game, but I want to watch the West game. I can't wait for that one because that's when Felix is back. Noni is integrated into the first team. Enzo is integrated into the first team. That one is going to be a very interesting. And by then, I think maybe Kante is going to be back. But yeah, Kante is here,
Yeah,
not there. But
Kante, I think will be ready this February, but I wouldn't want us to rush him back. He's gone on the
yeah,
knife. He's gone under the knife. Hopefully, he's taking care of the situation permanently. But go ahead with what you were saying.
yeah, so I'm really guessed about the signing. I am like, and for them to negotiate the way they negotiated, yeah, man,
Mhm.
we got real good owners. Like shout out to Roman. He gave us to the next people who can handle us. Like who can handle this these bunch of Chelsea fans, as we know how we are, Coach. We are very out there and we are very bold in terms of things we don't like and we like.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, so he understood that. I know a lot of Chelsea fans are saying he entered into con space and he heard us when we said we want X, Y, Z. But yeah, man, he shows like he's really connected to Chelsea and he loves growth and ambition to the club. So I'm really guessed that they got it over the line. It was very tense last night. Like those couple of
yeah. It was.
hours, it was very, very grueling. It was like you were watching a final and people are just waiting for Fabrizio to say, here we go.
Mhm.
But thank God it went through because I wouldn't, like we said in yesterday's team, you were saying like we couldn't just let Jorginho go without there being a plan.
Yeah,
So it didn't make
yeah. Without them being sure someone is coming in. Even as
Yeah,
bad as anybody thinks Jorginho is, was when he then again was for us. Again, I don't think they let sanction himself without being sure somebody like Enzo or anyone else is coming in. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm glad. Yeah, go ahead.
and you know what's the nice thing about the Jorginho deal? As much as
Mhm,
I'm sadish for him leaving to a rival and one of the worst rivals. Uh, the thing is that 10 million actually pays for Enzo's first year under FFP because Enzo signed a 8-year deal, I
mhm.
think.
Yeah,
So that
that's excellent observation right there.
yeah, so I think that goes there. So he had to make space, and I think Enzo just gets registered and everything is done. So he doesn't have a problem because we need bodies in that midfield. Because yeah, we
We
don't
do.
have anyone. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
don't have
do.
anyone. I'll park it
Yeah.
here for now. But yeah, great
All right.
signing, great signing.
All right. Again, I appreciate you finding time to join the show. I'm gonna go to my man, Bobby. Bobby, I hope you're recovering well, and you see everybody is paying attention, and that we all love you. Even we haven't heard from Emperor for a while. I know he's active in the group, but he paid attention and learned again. Our brother isn't doing well again. I hope you're recovering quickly. Just let me get a few stuff in the chat here. I'll try to get as much as I can. The chat is on fire right now. Let me get this again. Aside from the CFC on the Undertaker, and as you can see, I'm recovering, but my voice isn't. Again, is it? I am not quite there. So if I push too much, chances are, yeah, I will. Again, it will go back to zero again. I feel better against having. I'm taking some again. I'm adhering to some remedies as suggested, and it's working. But I don't have. I shouldn't push it too much. Otherwise, I will stop speaking. Not stop speaking entirely. You know that situation where you find it difficult to speak. So when somebody's talking to you, you just be going, I don't want it to get to that. Big up again. Nice to see the rival fans crying and club crying about Chelsea spending money. Do you know how much they spend in the past? They spent in the past 3 years. I just don't want to get into that. Let's just enjoy it. What happened to James Rodriguez is very sad, but he didn't have the sort of fight and spirit that Enzo has. That says it all. So I'm not going to even talk much about that. Big up, Kachila. Congratulations to us again. How was your your night stressful? Because I had to implement a new system to make the whole thing easier so that the screen can stop freezing and all of that. But that's by the way. Otherwise, an excellent night. Given that we got our man finally, coach again. People and and footballers are so sore. Bayern abused the German league. No competition. Buys all the best players from their competitors, actually. So that very well said there. Barca and Real, one club almost broke and still getting to spend takes loans. You just said something that Bobby would take and run with. But that's by the way. I'll try and get as much comment that I can in the chat because we have to soon switch from Enzo, talk about something else, and then maybe come back to Enzo Fernandez again. Coming to you, Bobby. More importantly, I hope you're doing well. I want to start by asking you this question: did you ever think we signed this many players in this January transfer window? I didn't think so, really, because we signed how many? More than five in the January transfer window alone. I didn't think in a million years that we'd do that. But Bobby, I want to start you with that. Then you can go ahead and talk about all the things that we started with. You listen while you were listening. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, big up, guys. Thank you for your well wishes. Yeah, I mean, of course, I don't think anybody could have thought that we would sign this many in January.
Hmm.
We know that we need a squad overhaul, but we were still left guessing as to whether the not only would the new ownership acknowledge that, but
Hmm.
whether they would uh, uh, go all out to do something about it in January.
Hmm.
So it's a bit of a pleasant surprise. Um, yeah, I mean, going forward, now that they've done this and really showed their intent, it's all about what happens on the pitch for the coaching staff now. Uh,
Hmm.
the the uh, the sporting directors can focus on the remaining signings in to come in summer. Those that are already guaranteed, and those that we still need. I still think we need one more midfielder and one striker.
So specifically, let's say we need an attack, that a central attacking midfielder. Since it's clear, it looks like we got Enzo to be a deep lying creative midfielder. So it makes sense, Bobby, what you just mentioned. And we have one player in particular that we all thought that would come join us this window, but for political reasons wasn't able to do so. We'll talk about that later. Something changed about his own situation, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's an attacking midfielder we need or just a destroyer who can help Enzo, because we have a number of attacking midfielders, don't we? We've got Chukwemeka. I think Mount is meant to be that sort of
Let me
player.
say a 10. We need a defined 10, number 10, in the
Well,
mold of Fabregas or Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, go ahead.
Nkunku's coming in the summer.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we can hold on to João Felix. I think that's very important for us to do that.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure 10 is the problem. I hear you, but I think having a complementary destroyer would be far more useful. With Nkunku, we've got João Felix. I wouldn't be surprised if Modric couldn't do a job like that. Um, so I'm not sure that's an area uh, uh, that we should be investing in a hurry. I don't know. That's just my feeling. All I know is definitely we do need another midfielder and we do need a striker. Um, and so the burden of pursuits is lightened, and the scouting team can get working
Just one
between.
second, Bobby. Who is this guy saying this? Listen, what I said is that I'm not sure, I don't have the details as to what happened. That I read it, and you don't have the right to come talk like this. That's rude. Do you pay anybody on the panel list? No, you don't. You here, don't talk like that again. Don't. I said clearly I read something, but I have no clarity as to why and what happened. So yeah, you don't come here and talk like this. That's not okay. Go ahead with what you were saying, Bobby.
Yeah, so now we put ourselves in terms of the summer transfer window in a much more relaxed position as to, in light of what is definitely going to be a pretty hectic window with the pursuit of marquee midfielders right up there. And we will be amongst that. If we can secure, I don't put us out of the Bellingham chase. I really don't. I think the sporting directors will look at that along with Caicedo, along with what's his name, Declan Rice, and we're in it with everybody. And then, of course, the striker situation we'll also be looking at in a relaxed way. What this means for us now is we need to do two things. One, we know the media is our enemy. They don't like us. They're furious. The opposition is furious. They're seething. They're so jealous at Chelsea that they are just bringing out any negative they can find about what is happening, or anything they can use to create a negative and demonize the club. They are pushing it hard because they're so jealous. They are so against us. And to show that it is jealousy, you talk to any of these Man United spaces, and all they're dreaming of doing is imitating what Chelsea have done. Um, talking about getting directors, and these people just want to know what we're doing, not for transparency, but just to copy it. You can see from Arsenal, their envy of Chelsea players is reflected in the fact that any one of them that's available for them, they grab them with two hands. I'm talking from David Luiz, right the way to Jorginho. You know, they just want to be Chelsea. All of them do. But that aside, we have to be careful now. We've got to. We know that Potter is going to need time to fully get these guys oiled into a machine, and probably will not get the full machine going until after the summer pre-season. But we've got to be very careful of officials in games because they will try and use them against us. I keep reiterating we have one goal and two pathways to get there: the Champions League. The Champions League should be everything, which is via the league. I know a lot of our players are new, they're still settling in, but we still go for it. And via the Champions League itself. Why not? It's when the knockout stages, we go for it. As far as Hakim Ziyech is concerned, well, you know, I tend to go with some of our fans that have responded that look, PSG knew that there was a possibility to get Ziyech as soon as we landed Noni. So why didn't they make their move then? They waited until transfer deadline day itself, and they've start making moves for Ziyech. And as it turned out, yes, the documents were in a little bit late. I think all the Chelsea efforts were on Enzo. I don't think anybody was even left in the office to try and do this deal. And it was the French, after appeal, both times the French Football Federation rejected it. I think it is what it is. Hakim will be disappointed, clearly, because he must have wanted
Yeah.
to go there. But, you know, my advice to him is, hey, look, you know, these things happen, and you never know. This could be a blessing in disguise. Knuckle down. You've shown form in the last three games. I know the club will be fully behind you if you really want to go in the summer. They will help you and ensure it happens and not make it difficult for you in any way, shape, or form. And hey, you might find after a season playing with all these guys, you may not want to go. You know what I'm saying? You might, and you may still yet pick up another Champions League. So if you focus yourself well. So it's not the worst thing to happen to him to remain at Chelsea. Yes, he might be fearing game time because we're out of all domestic cup competitions, but I think there has to be rotation, and I think he's fortunate he's usually playing on the same side as someone like Noni, who's young, who needs time to settle, and I'm sure both he and the team will benefit from having someone he can rotate with. So it's not really the end of the world at all.
All right.
If, in fact, if he went to PSG, he might find himself warming the bench considerably because I can't really see who he's going to bench from Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. It's going to be very difficult. So
No, he's not going to. If anything, I think he'd be a supplier for Mbappe. He'd be again. I think he
yeah, but
benefits
where?
Mbappe so well
In
on the
what
right
part
hand
of the
side.
field?
Yeah, here's the thing. He doesn't have to start every game. But
Well,
again,
exactly.
what has happened, and I did talk about seeing something with regards to PSG appealing the situation. Now, I think you already talked about that.
It's done.
Liam
I've
said, yeah, he said the appeal was turned down. But
yeah,
that's by the way.
a
Except if
bit
you have
so. I
anything else
said
to
it.
add to it, I want to give those in the chat some audience, and I'll come back and go to Teboho again give us his thoughts on the player. And again, something else specifically I wanted to ask him. What sort of again? We understand quite clearly Enzo isn't the final piece of the puzzle, but what sort of midfielder should we be looking at right now? To me, I think I think central attacking midfielder, anything in the mold of Fabregas, even Juan Mata would do. Let me say, was the Man City player, KDB, again, a player capable of producing double digits in terms of chance creation or assist from that central area so that we can diversify our chance creation. Because I keep saying this, the biggest issue in terms of again our chance creation is that everything comes from the flanks and mainly on the carpet, and it's very predictable. And you can argue that's the reason why whenever oppositions defend deep, we seem to find it very difficult to play. That's why I think we should prioritize getting a central attacking midfielder. Another DM right now, I think we can still make do with a pairing of Jorginho and Enzo, or Kante, so to speak, Kante and Enzo, or Kante plus Kovacic. That pairing was
But
so work if we really want to rotate something. Yeah,
but
go
coach,
ahead.
I agree with Bobby. We need a DM first because we're
Does
gonna
it look
limit.
like you that that Potter really is looking for a DM? If he's seriously looking for one, we should have one in by now. And we've always
Um,
look at from his time at Brighton, he doesn't use he seemed again he doesn't you can say he doesn't play with traditional DMs, and it's
but
difficult to find anybody that's in the mode of again in the mode of a traditional DM, and you can say an 8, which is the hybrid of both, is what he plays with. But go ahead with what you're saying.
yeah, I understand fully, coach. But at the moment, we don't want a situation where we limit Enzo, where we like Enzo, you need to sit a lot, and because Kovacic is not gonna sit, he's gonna do it just to do the job. I think for the rest of the season, that's gonna be his role.
Mm,
Kante doesn't sit. He doesn't have the discipline to sit, and you're limiting him when he sits because he has to be, roaming around box to box. Same with Enzo, same with Kovacic. So I think I agree with Bobby when he says we need somebody to sit to let these guys do their job, which is be involved in the attack, those late runs, etc., etc. And this is why I think Adam Nelson reported that Chelsea are still looking at Caicedo, and Declan Rice in that mold, and Jude Bellingham could be a possible, addition in the summer. So I think I understand what they're trying to do. Maybe two pivots, so it doesn't limit us. And I don't think a attacking midfielder is going to be done in the summer. I could be wrong because they're going to be looking at Felix, Havertz to a certain extent. I think we okay in that position. And again, coach, the flank, I think you're going to see something very different because we have direct wingers. Like
mm,
direct
mm.
wingers brings so much to the game. We missed that at Chelsea. Like we really, really, really missed that. So when Modric and Noni, when they get going, and if from the cops that I've seen and that 30-minute spell at Liverpool, if they get going the way we think they're going to get going and they get direct, I don't think a central attacking midfielder is going to be the first thing they're going to be thinking in the summer. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So it's a season thing. I think the rest of the season is a preseason type of occasion for us. But yeah, with ambition, with ambition.
Okay, I'm gonna come back again, guys. Please again, I'm not gonna be reading too much. Yep. Again, I thought I'd be fine to read quite a lot today, but it seems like the more I try to read, I think it gets worse until it's healed properly. Then I'll be reading quite a lot as usual. Do you think Zakaria can play DM? Yeah, he's shown he can play it, and I think he's the real, again, if he stays fit, he's Graham Potter's type of DM because he's very versatile. He's not just about sitting deep. If need be, he can help orchestrate again a very counter process. Again, he's capable of also supporting the attack whenever he finds a space, and it's not going to leave us open at the back. Again, I think he's capable. The question is, how fit is he going to be? We don't know. Again, it's a risk now to say we're going to keep. So I think the club will take their time to assess him. And given, let's say, to the end of this, by the end of the season, they'd have enough sample to say, you know what, let's keep him, or let's not just spend again. Let's not just again just spend pay for him. It's a risk. But let's see what the club does. I'm going to come to you, Taberho. Your thoughts again. What do you think will be? Let's say, Bobby says we need one more midfielder, but he thinks we should prioritize getting a defensive midfielder. For me, I think otherwise. I think we need a central attacking midfielder. But your thoughts, what do you think we need really? Because we know, yeah, it's a good thing we all realize Enzo isn't the final piece. Enzo isn't the man to solve the problem alone. He's part of, again, a group of players that will become a solution to the issues we've been having in the past. But he's, you can say, a huge part of that. But your thoughts, what sort of midfielder should we be looking for right now?
Yeah, big up, coach. Big up,
Yeah, big up to
Emperor.
you.
Big up, Bobby. I hope you'll be well soon. Big up, grandfather's lawyer there, Roger. So, guys, to
Good
be honest,
morning.
yes, to be honest, as coach said, like if you look at grandfather's team, for example, Besuma, Mwepu, Caicedo, McAllister, Pascal Gross, they are not DMs. They are more sort of versatile players that get box to box midfielder. So, for example, at the moment we don't need a Rice at Chelsea. We rather go for Caicedo or a Besuma because it can go up and down. Look at for example, Zakaria. We expected Zakaria at Chelsea to play as a sitting DM, but again, Grandpa is not using Zakaria as a sitting DM. Clearly, you can see Grandpa's vision of a midfielder. So overall, I would say, in terms of Enzo, we need someone that will protect him because Enzo. I want Enzo to have a free role. Look at how they use him at Benfica. He's having a free role, and then this other kid called Florentino is doing all the dirty work for him. And then Enzo Fernandez just passing those champion passes, having fun with the ball and stuff. And then overall, I'm happy that we have a kind of this midfield because a lot of our attackers are making beautiful runs there, but again, we know our midfielders, they're just gonna go backwards or sideways. So I'm tired of that. We need more, and hopefully, we can start performing against Fulham. I just want to see the boys getting 3 points because losing against Fulham really hurt me that time. So overall, I'm happy with the signing, and then I haven't slept for 2 days because of the Enzo deal. Now I can rest. From today, I
Really
can
do sound like
rest.
you
I
haven't
can
slept.
sleep in. Exactly. Even now, I'm at work, but I'm so tired. But I'm just awake for the sake I'm at work. But again, today, as soon as I knock off, I'm gonna sleep early. So overall, I'm glad the deal is over the line. Thanks to Todd Boehly and Bagbali, because they said they're not taking a no for the answer. They rather wait until the end and see what happened, and we got our man. So big up to them, and the structure is coming well. But again, we'll just wait for the next summer, see what's gonna happen. Overall, we have Malo Gusto. I'm happy that Rhys James now from next season he can rest because I don't want Rhys James to be overused. I want him to rest. Oh, Malo Gusto is there, and also those who said Benoit Badiashile is a bad player, is a bum or whatever. Oh man, you gotta hate yourself because that kid is so good. Still early, playing along Thiago Silva. You're gonna be a gem. Look at Chalaba next to Thiago Silva. He was doing well. So overall, guys, I'm happy with the signing with that we made this window. Even Andre Santos is bowling out at Brazil. Hopefully, he can come at Chelsea and then progress the way he's doing at the tournament. So big up, guys.
Yeah, big up to you too. Sorry, I had to again go off camera to take a call. While I was waiting for it, so apologies, guys. Roger, big up. I think it's already noon where you are. Again, good afternoon to you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. I want to get your thoughts, Roger. The argument as what sort of midfielder do we need now? I think we're sorted in the deeper again in terms of the 2 6s because traditionally we do play with 2 6s. We're not even when we play with 3 at the back, 4 at the back. It's usually 4-2-3-1. But the question is, what sort of midfield do we need? Enzo himself, again, he's a tackling machine. He can put in some good tackles and he can recover the ball. He can also read the game quite well. But alongside N'Golo Kante, I think he'll be fine. Alongside even Zakaria, if we end up keeping him. Listen, for the rest of the season, I think my advice would be, before we go for any defensive-minded midfielder, in terms of going for a defensive midfielder, we should wait to the end of the season and see. And we have to wait. We have no option to wait. The transfer window is closed, except we'll get any free agent. I think the priority should be a central attacking midfielder. Honestly, that's what I think we need now. Since it's clear, it's looking more likely we're going to be playing Enzo deep as one of the two. He's a hybrid of 8 and 6, or 8 and 10, or 6 and 8 if you want to phrase it that way. But what do you think? What sort of midfielder should we be looking for, really?
Hey, good afternoon and good morning.
Yeah, greetings to you.
And Bobby, so good to hear your voice once more. Welcome back, Bobby. And everyone on the panel and in the chat, of course. It's an interesting discussion. I think, and I watched actually about 22 minutes worth of a video that someone did on YouTube of virtually every single touch that Enzo has made with Benfica and Argentina in the World Cup. And one thing that stuck out more than anything is his ability to make a pass with the outside of his foot. He's quite well versed in that. He's a very technical player. And he's insightful. I saw a lot of opportunities that he made passing forward deliberately where his predecessor or predecessors would invariably pass backwards. So I'm very much positive, and I'm welcoming him to the fact that he's first and foremost a very forward-looking player with the ball, and he's a tackling machine. I think he's a little bit more of everything. I think I was under the impression from the little I've known of him that he's more of an attacking player, but I think he does everything equally. I think you can say he is truly a hybrid midfielder in that regard, where he can stick in the boot, and he does tackle often, and he's used in deep lying positions. But he's also, dare I say, a register like his predecessor also, where he does have the ability. I mean, he's in the 99th percentile in virtually every single passing statistic in Portugal. Yes, I know it's a different league. I understand that differential, but if I had to choose one, I think we should wait until the end of the season to answer your question directly, and let's see.
Except if you find a free agent.
Well, yeah, of course, but that depends on the quality, doesn't it? But let's see what our number 8s have. We have a plethora of different players that can play in that field. Listen, we have 10 players. We have, going forward, we've got a lot. Then we've got Conor Gallagher. We've got Mount that can play there. Carney Chukwuemeka, obviously. Lewis Hall. If I had to choose anything, and this will be my choice, will be predicated on how healthy, our acquisition, what's his name? Caicedo is. Dennis Zakaria is. If he can stay healthy, and then maybe he would be good enough to go forward. This could be a bad spell for him with injuries. But if I had to choose one, I would say I would probably be more inclined, Coach. And I know you're thinking you're just doing this to pick against me, but it's not. I think I would choose a more defense-oriented player for rotational purposes, because we have so many box-to-box. We have so many number 8s. If anything, we need a more defensive-oriented midfielder, in my opinion. Yes, I know that we don't usually, or I should say my client doesn't usually utilize a traditional sitting midfielder. I understand that. However, you need a hybrid of both. I'd rather have a more centrally minded defensive midfielder that is technical and can complete a pass, like, let's say, a centre-back that has played, like Ethan Ampadu. He has done that internationally before, where, he plays in a sitting midfield for his country, but has the ability to pass forward also, and he's a tackling machine. So someone of his ilk, you never know. But that's why I'd be more inclined. But let's see how the season progresses, and then make, I think, any alterations or any acquisitions that we deem necessary in the next forthcoming window.
So for you, you don't think we need any defensive? I just want to get clarity from your contribution right now. You don't think we need any defensive-minded midfielder right now, and you don't
No.
think we need any central attacking midfielder right now because we have 8.
Well, we have technically, I think, 11 midfielders, if I'm
Okay,
not
how many of
mistaken.
them, of those people you're calling, the so-called 8 you believe we have at the club, have produced again after a season, or let's say consistently after each season for the past 3 seasons, produced a good enough number that made you say, oh, you know what, I don't think we need a 10 or anybody that can play in that number 8 role and do well. I don't think we're playing Kunko as a 10. As much as I think he has the qualities to be again
Sure.
a playmaker, but I don't see him playing as a 10. But do we have anybody who could say plays in that 10 or 8 position that's capable of again orchestrating defense, splitting passes? If anything, thank goodness again. I'm again somewhat again as much as I wanted Ziyech to leave, it's sad to hear that the deal fell through and PSG's, which I thought again, I saw PSG, they were appealing the situation, and Liam Lane informed me that the appeal was rejected. He comes back.
Yeah,
He's
it
the
was
best
actually it was
yeah,
rejected
exactly.
by the French football governing body.
Okay,
This
yeah,
is what the
I wasn't
BBC
sure
are
because I told
reporting.
you I wasn't sure what happened with the appeal. So yeah, I didn't have much clarity on the situation. Now he stays. I think he can play in the 10 position because he's capable of picking up. He's the best passer we have from the central area. Again, let's say I don't know if anyone else. I don't know if Mudryk can play centrally and then be great at it. I've seen some samples that shows maybe how he drifts from the flanks to the central area, and still again he has good vision too, and still able to pick up players. Maybe he suffices, but I'm saying we
Yeah.
need a player in the mode of again a KDB or Fabregas or even Juan Mata, so that we can diversify our chance creation and be less predictive. To me, I don't think the priority should be the defensive area,
Well,
honestly, because Graham Potter. Yeah, go
sure,
ahead.
sure. You may be proven correct. Going forward in the remaining 18 games in the Premier League and however many games we have left in the Champions League, depending on how far we go. So that's yet to be determined. That's why I said let's wait and see until where we can ascertain and diagnose where does the coaching staff believe we are best suited to make any acquisitions, if any at all. Do you understand? We may come away after the end of the season and go, wow, we are loaded in creative midfield, attacking midfield, and defensive midfield. They could all, reach a level that would surpass our expectations. Conversely speaking, we could come away saying, oh, coach, we may not need to make many more acquisitions in midfield, both in multiple areas of the midfield, in attacking and defensive. It's too early to tell, coach. It really is. But statistically, I'm looking at it. The players going forward, and in midfield consistently. I mean, the squad is, and this is without Santos, by the way. So this is a very large array of players to select from. And I understand some are injured and coming back from injury, so they're going to need time to, shall we say, acclimate to full speed of the game and so forth. But however, I think it's far too premature to diagnose that currently, in my humble opinion. But I can see I can see Bobby's stance and I can see yours, because let's be honest, thus far we have not exactly been blowing people away, both offensively and defensively. So only time will tell, gentlemen.
Yeah, and just quickly, if you're a Robin George, avoid using all caps. If you use all caps, the machine would delete it. I get it, and I really would like to get your comment regarding Juan Mata. What I'm saying again, Juan Mata again, he wasn't. Yeah, you can say he wasn't that prolific, but at least he's capable of doing it. What I'm looking at is the ability to find the passes, and you could argue, did he play consistently for us? He didn't play that again. here's
Who
the
one
thing.
matter?
I'm talking about his ability. More importantly, I'm talking about in terms of his ability to pick up great passes if you make the run. If that makes any
He
sort
was
of
a
sense
great
to you.
player for us.
Yeah, he was well, but I'm saying at the time his game time started dropping, especially under Mourinho, or who was it again? I think it was under
It was
Mourinho.
Mourinho. We sold him
Yeah.
to United.
Yeah, exactly. And he
Oof.
ended up again. what a story! He ended up becoming his coach again at United.
Yeah, the irony.
But that's by the way. Emperor, haven't heard from everybody. And again, guys, sorry if you can hear how I sound. Really, again, it looks like I thought that'd be better, but it looks like I need to give it a little bit of break. I'm not sure. Maybe not hosting 2 shows in a day will help me recover fully. I'm gonna come to you, Emperor. Have a listen to everybody. And again, do you understand that Potter doesn't look like he plays with traditional DMs? Do you think he'd still go for a traditional DM? I don't think so. But I want to get your thoughts. Now, maybe you haven't listened to me or haven't listened to Roger. What do you think really we need as a final piece of the puzzle, if you want to call it that?
The practical way is the Roger way, because I mean he's close to Potter, so he probably knows what.
Yeah, the lawyer.
So, but like, it's a wait and see, right? But because we are Chelsea fans and we can see into the future, and we are part-time coaches, as Chelsea fans, I would say that, I think they're trying to integrate Santos into this first team, but it's a huge risk, right? Because what I see in terms of creativity, right? The left back and the right back, which would be, a James or Aspilicueta to a certain extent, and Cucurella and Chilwell, will give us, an overload with our wingers, right? And whoever's playing in that midfield can, if you're playing in the 8 position, you can go into the left and add that third wave in terms of overpowering that section and creating through that. Or the wingers can just go to a bar line and just create. And I think it's enough to get us through the rest of the season. That's why I'm like, Potter's going to treat it as a preseason in my eyes, with ambition to win games. So I think that's okay for now. But if we go throughout the season, like Roger said, if we can see that, we need a Juan Mata type of player who can just create abundance of chances and find the runs of Modric and Noni. Because again, we don't know what Noni's going to be bringing, what Modric is going to be bringing into the game. So there's a lot of unknowns, especially with this squad. But that first team squad, I think it's enough. My only problem is when these wing backs or / right back and left back bomb forward, right? Who's
we
left?
should find them.
They're going forward. Yes, I get that. We're gonna find them. I think that's gonna be Enzo's job primarily, looking at his compilations. So I think we're gonna find them, right? But my thing is when they're up there, right? That counter attack, we've seen it throughout the rest of the season this season, and Bobby's client as well saw that he can't recover when we are in transition. And I was thinking, okay, if we can get a defensive mid, right? I know Enzo can do it as well, but I don't want to limit him to being, just sit there and play from the deep. I want Enzo to be that box to box, freely to be that, with a lone traditional DM. Somebody who's sitting there and saying, guys, here's the ball, go do whatever you want. I'm going to be sitting here with Thiago Silva and
don't you think? Let me just quickly. Don't you think Kante is capable of doing that? It all comes down to the demand of the manager.
Yeah, but that's the thing, coach. We've seen this before, though, with Kante. Kante doesn't sit. He doesn't. He likes working, and he likes. Yeah, like he goes to our position.
Traditionally, he's box to box, but the manager can demand. This is how I want the game approached today.
Sure.
Be disciplined.
Coach,
but go ahead.
But coach, Kante on the ball is not like it doesn't come free flowing to his game. Like he can do it, but he needs a lot of coaching. Like he needs to be, in the first in class, like in front of the class, learning day in day out. And I don't think Kante at this age can do that. I could be proven wrong, but this is what I was saying, right? If you get like everybody's saying, Caicedo makes sense. Rice makes sense.
Let me point out something. How was Kante able again on his day? How was he able? If you're saying this, then all the while the people have been saying that he did all the dirty work and that's why he's suffering, protecting Jorginho. Then how are we concerned that he's not going to be the man to be the destroyer?
You know why Kante is? Because Kante, when he did it, he was doing it in around, that whole around that center area. He was doing it around there. But the difference between him and a disciplined destroyer, right? Look at Casemiro at United. He mops up everybody's messes. Like he reads the game from a defensive point of view. See how Thiago Silva's playing. Like he doesn't rush into tackles. He reads the game. He lets the attack run into that space and then deal with him in a decisive manner, right? Now, if you have three of Badiashile, Silva, and a traditional DM, the other 7 players can do whatever they want in attack. They can choose to be lazy in terms of tracking back. They can do whatever. Enzo can camp in the opposition box for all I care. It's fine because I would be happy because the defensive mid will be there doing his job, and they can separate their jobs in terms of the defensive midfielder attacks the first transitional opposition who's attacking us, attack him while Thiago Silva covers the other striker or winger or Badiashile, etc., etc. So those 3 in transition could help us. This is my thought. But if Potter wants to do it in a new, diverse way, then let have it. As long as we're winning games and we're playing good.
And that is really how he's always done it. It will take some adjustment. Go ahead.
Point. And people keep on bringing up Brighton. If you look at Brighton, Caicedo's sitting. He's disciplined.
No, he's not. Maybe under the new manager. Under Graham Potter, he never sits. I think there's a way. Let me say, under Graham Potter, they were so drilled that if they're going forward, it's like this. And once they defend it, it's like this together as a unit. Maybe that's what can mask the fact that he doesn't sit. I think Graham Potter prefers the whole team defending as a unit but attacking as a unit too.
Yes. The reason why we might
if that makes any sort of sense to you. It's not down to keeping sacrificing a single individual. He wants a fluid approach in the central area. That's the 260s. He wants them to stay fluid, participate in the attack, and then if there's need to defend, they defend as a unit too. If that makes sense, but go ahead.
Yes, you know why it seems like he's doing more than just sitting is because he's good on the ball. This is what Caicedo brings. You see, when a DM is good on the ball, it makes him look like he's a hybrid 8 and he goes box to box. While in reality, he's sitting to a demarcated range, if you will, right? Where he's like, this is my radius. And everything that comes into this radius, whether it's attacking, I'm going to destroy it. But when I have the ball in this radius, this is where I operate. So Caicedo makes it look like he's, all diverse and this, but he's actually sitting and being disciplined because Caicedo is not outside the box taking shots and doing all of that. But I think Enzo is that type of player, and I don't want to limit him into that 6 where he has to do a lot of work to do the box to box thing. So this is my thought. I feel like we need a DM just to free up our players, just do whatever they want to do, and a free attack. We get to see players gel and stuff, but yeah, we've yet to see what's going to happen with Porter. I'll probably get an email from Porter saying that you're all wrong, but yeah, we'll see. I think it's a case by case
Yeah,
basis.
I think you see that this maybe, but I'm still saying if really he wanted a traditional DM, I think we're getting one now. Or maybe they're saying let's leave it till summer. It's not a priority. There's a chance that's the case, given the fact that Kante comes back this month. He has Zakaria at his disposal. Again, I don't know how soon he will be fit. But that's, by the way, again, I think he likes, again. You see, he also does like a playing what's his name, Conor Gallagher there, but which means he prefers, again. But let's not go into it. I think that argument doesn't make sense. Maybe he's decided to change things up at Chelsea because he needs to win, which means he needs to be a bit pragmatic. And in that sense, finding someone that was so disciplined, no matter how we attack that person, his priority will be to make sure oppositions don't hit us on a break and go past us. Which makes me begs the question, why didn't we look at Ismail Banessa? Rumors are that we were looking at him. He's not your stereotypical DM. He's good on the ball, good vision in terms of passing, good tackles, very clean tackles too. But we move on from that, by the way. Again, we have something again here lined up to look at, if you don't mind. I don't know, Roger, you have anything, or Bob, you have anything to add to that argument? You go ahead. Yeah.
As I was trying to say earlier, Coach,
I
to
didn't know you
me,
didn't drop. Apologies to that.
to me, what we need is not just, you see, we can't be robotic, and I think you can see from our purchases we are doing anything but that. Even the striker we'll get in the summer, you'll see that it will be somebody that can be flexible. Why we need a destroyer, and I use this word, a destroyer, is that Enzo, come on, we know Premier League football, what these managers are like. What you don't have, you destroy. They will try and start their pressing from Enzo. I can just see it. He will have 4 players around him every time he's on the ball. That's what they do. However, that might be to their peril, because I think he's probably smart enough to play what I call an escape route ball, especially if he's there with someone like Kovacic, or indeed,
He's good
if
on the
he's
ball
fit,
when pressed.
Zakaria. Yeah, but we need this player, and I don't want to see in any situation really, unless in European games, where, and even then, European football in terms of club football has changed a lot. I don't want to see Enzo and Kante. You can't do that. We had that problem when we used to play Kante and Fabregas, and we learned very quickly. Height is important. One of the great things about Obi Mikel was that not only was he a holding midfielder, but he was defensive. You see him heading out balls from corners. And in fact, most descriptively of that was our second goal in the Champions League 2012 winning season in the quarterfinals against Benfica at their ground, when they took a corner. He headed it out and directed his header to, I've forgotten his name. Oh gosh, what's the name of that Spanish guy? The guy that scored.
What position?
No, our player.
In the final?
Quarterfinals.
Oh, wow.
What's his name?
Are you talking about Torres against Barcelona?
No, not
Not
Torres.
Torres. Barcelona was semi-finals.
Yeah, that was semi.
Against Benfica. Come on, guys. Help me, guys. Gosh, help me, Chelsea.
The Spanish guy, who?
Yes. He had a bit of a Mohican. You know it. You know this guy.
You're talking about Portuguese. He has a Mohican hairstyle.
You're correct.
Yeah, he sings now. What's his name?
Really?
Mireles.
Raul Mireles. Yeah, that's correct.
Thank you. Who said that? Who was that? Who was? Oh man,
he's Portuguese, isn't he? Not Spanish.
Yeah, my mistake. Mireles. He headed the ball from a corner to Mireles, and the rest is history. And the goal.
Just to add, Bobby. Just to add, it's the same with Matic when you're talking about the height as well. When you had Fabregas and Matic.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you don't necessarily have to be as tall as them, but you must have some height about you. You know,
Enzo's
I remember
5'10".
when we played, was it Fulham or I've forgotten, Nottingham Forest, and the goal they scored. It was because we had in that position, we went and put Pulisic there. I mean, Pulisic had no chance heading against those guys.
Yeah.
So the destroyer needs to be next to Enzo. Let's not cripple and inhibit the skills of our players. These guys have laid out a lot of money. Now let them play these players in ways they can actually play. And expecting Enzo to be a DM and all these funny things and yada, yada, yada. No, you know, let him be that creator. Let him be that guy that makes it happen for us. And the only way we can do that is have a destroyer beside him, somebody that is not necessarily fixed as a CDM. If needed, he can drop in defense. If needed, he can even go up and help the attack. That sounds very much to me like a Moise Caicedo, really.
Yeah.
Or people hate to hear it, a Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Yo, I want Rice at our club, guys. Yo, I just want Rice there,
do I.
guys.
I know Coach
Like,
doesn't.
no,
No, I'm
Who's good?
speaking objectively. I really am.
No,
I'm not
I-
really
and
having an
also
opinion in this, at this
Zakaria
point.
from the
Oh,
last.
Zakaria as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if he listen, it's a big if. I get that, Coach. I know you're going to say if, but if he can, let's say, get back to form, because the last few games he played outstandingly well. However, you know, he sustained another injury. Let's see how he does going forward if he can remain injury free. And if that's the case,
Can we
I
can we
think he
compete?
I
We
think
need presence than height. Like a DM has presence,
yes.
like in that middle. That's like Zakaria. Like he has
Yes.
presence. Like you get what I'm saying. But yeah,
He
you
has
can go
all
on.
the qualities that you're looking for.
Yeah, Roger, let me just say quickly. You see Zakaria, you could say the way he plays, he's a perfect. What Graham Potter would say, yeah, I take this as my DM.
Yeah, I get it.
You understand, Mike? Because he has everything.
Totally.
He's not just your stereotypical DM. Just wait, read
He's
the game, destroy,
well-rounded.
and that's it. He adds more to the game
Yes.
than read the game and be at the right.
He's
right
dynamic
place at
in
the right
that
time.
regard.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, brother. I'll let you drop so we can move on to other topics.
No, all of you chaps, you're right. I'm just saying, if God forbid that Zakaria is not able to continue his career with a clean track record of being injury free, then someone of his ilk, of his cut from the same cloth. You know, you're right. That same physical presence, etc., and obviously technical ability too. We need someone like this, pure and simple, to stand by. Listen, on midfield, I would like, honestly, if we're playing a 4-3-3 and everyone's healthy, I would like Zakaria, Enzo, and Kante. Those three in the midfield.
Oh, you want a midfield three?
Yeah, I'm just saying if we're doing a midfield three, a 4-3-3. If you want a 4-2-3-1, then you're probably looking at Enzo and Zakaria. Or possibly
Yeah.
Kante. I don't know. Kante is our best player. What are you going to do with him?
That
Yeah.
first midfield three where it's Zakaria, Enzo, and Kante is a no nonsense midfield. Like
Yeah, exactly.
nobody's passing.
It's a beauty and it's creative. You know, it's got a
It
bit
is.
of
Yeah,
everything.
so that's you could say that's Potter's type of midfield.
It's sexy
And rotational.
Yeah, and rotational too. Yeah, it will be very fluid. Yeah.
But in a 4-2-3-1, who are you putting in midfield?
For 4-2-3-1, for me
Yeah.
the 2 6s will be Enzo and Kante. Because Kante, you could say, is the most equipped now to protect him better than anyone else.
Yeah,
Zakaria, if Kante isn't playing, then you can be a pairing of Zakaria and Kante, but Zakaria
exactly.
it has to be Zakaria and Enzo. But Zakaria has to be again the man has to demand that he stays disciplined. Because we've seen him, there was one game where it didn't look like as if Potter asked him to stay disciplined, and we suffered because Jorginho was isolated on multiple occasions and we couldn't play. But the day he was paired with Jorginho and he stayed disciplined a bit more, it looked like, oh, that was the perfect pairing. You recall, I'm sure you can get a picture of what I'm saying here. Yeah. So
also, we have Kova. Also, you have Kova in a rotation. Also,
yeah,
and
Kova. I think
him.
Kova will always have a part as long as he stays fit. I think he's a perfect Potter type of player.
Yes.
But
So
this is
go, Lan.
oh,
You go, sir. No, you go, sir.
I was saying, but this is where it's nice to have players in their position because we're not gonna have enough. Like our injury list, majority of the time is because we overuse players and we
Yes.
overuse players in different positions where they're not supposed to be used.
And
But
some
when
bad
we
luck.
yeah, and our curse, our December curse. But when we have players that are traditionally there, just like Zakaria in that City game, he was so good. It was amazing when they were trying to press him. The way
Exactly.
he played, like the authority on
Honestly,
the
I
ball.
didn't know that Zach was press resistant until that day.
Exactly, but
He
I
was
didn't know.
majestic.
Even though I followed him, I did a video with my friend again. What's his name? Michelle Pater Swaga. A scouting video about him. I didn't even know he was that. Maybe everything. Let's say that's why I always say how a player plays comes down to the demand of the manager, really.
Also,
and
gentlemen, can
and,
I just
and
quickly say, what about Reece James in midfield? If we've,
That
no,
may well happen.
no,
But go ahead, Emperor.
no. I don't want to see James in that midfield. No, he's the
Why?
best right back in the world. He's the
Yeah, but
best right back in the world.
he's one of the
This
top 2 or 3. I agree, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if the gentleman Gusto starts to shall we say evolve, and let's say we need, because the wear and tear will be less on him, will be less on
no,
in midfield per se. I think he could be a good shall we say rotational player if need be.
you know the thing is when
Food
we
for
got
thought.
Gusto,
Food for thought.
I
That's
I,
all.
I yeah I want Reece James to have that rest in that position
Sure.
because when you rest a game or two, right, and somebody's performing better than you, it gives you more motivation
Of
to be
course.
the best you can be in that
Yeah,
position. But when we move him into the midfield, right, his body has to adjust to midfield play. This
that's
is
the
one
truth.
thing a lot of
Yeah,
us
that's the
as
truth.
fans
No, but he's
don't
played there. He's
don't
played there
No, but he
before.
hasn't played there for a while, and we
No,
don't
I
have
know.
the
yeah,
luxury. We don't have luxury to give him game time to adapt to start again.
he's
He
gonna
doesn't. Let me say the readaptation period again in the midfield
Well,
area. We
yeah,
don't
you
have the
do that on the
luxury.
training
and
pitch also, sir.
I
and
really
and
don't
and,
think. I really don't think Potter would do that.
I'm,
But go ahead,
I
and,
go ahead,
just
Emperor.
said food for
Let's
thought.
switch
That's all.
topics.
Sorry.
yeah, and I just wanted to add as well, right? It's a good point, and he's good, and he's physical, and he's a beast. Like I love Rich James, but the thing is, when you enter that midfield, the reaction time in that midfield is not you don't have it as much. I rather he takes the ball from the right wing and become an inverted, winger. He comes
Yeah.
in, he goes
Again, and
out.
help overload the midfield, help overload the attacking
Yes.
area because that's what he does.
Yeah, he can do that 100%.
Hmm.
Because one thing, when he gets that midfield, it's a whole totally different game to his style of play.
Yeah,
Because
and his
you be seen
crosses
it with
too.
Gallagher as well. When you take Gallagher a step backwards in the midfield where he has to play the six, his reaction time is slow because
Yeah.
he's not used to playing around there. So I don't want to take players, I know he can be good in that position, but he would need like time and
Of course.
coaching and
Of
physical.
course.
And I don't think we have that. So I think it's okay for him to battle it out with Gusto, and I think Gusto will probably take up the best out of Gusto. Is be like, yo, Rich James is a beast, and I want to play in this team. I gotta step up my game, and we will have two best right back. Even if we switch, it's like, oh, Gusto's playing today. That's good. Oh, is Rich James playing today? I miss Chelsea when it's like that.
To me, this was the best acquisition, Gusto, in this window, in my opinion.
Oh my! I think
In
he's the closest, the only player that
the
was
long term.
available that's closer to again the Reece James.
Yeah, in the long term, we're going to look back and this will be quite a how shall I say this? This window is a turning point, I think, for our organization. And I think, especially with the acquisition of Gusto, I think you're going to see that hopefully he turns out, as I believe he will be a pivotal player for us going forward.
Yeah. Here's this, and let's talk about this man right here. Had we signed him I don't think just quickly. Did my share window close? Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'll come back to it later. So let's go with this one here, right here. I want us to talk about this one because I think his exploits in the under 20 South American competition.
Santos.
Yeah, that makes it easier. It makes it really easier on Chelsea to present a case and say, look, this kid right here counts as an exceptional talent. I don't know what other argument the FA will bring up.
Well,
Because
three goals in 3 consecutive games. In South American internationals, I think that's exceptional.
Yeah, I think he should count again. He should fall into that category as of an exceptional talent. Plus, they should pay attention to the comments of from a again Brazilian international saying how good this kid is. He's just 18, but you could say again before Oscar joined us, he's done better than Oscar did. But the difference was that Oscar was in England for the European Olympics games, so maybe that helped his case better. But looking Chelsea are convinced that they've signed a proper gem as Andrew Santos has now scored 4 goals. So, Roger, I apologize for -1.
No. Listen, hey, I didn't know he scored 4 goals now. I thought it was 3 goals.
No, I know you didn't. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow.
I'm just kidding.
So that's
he's
impressive.
done quite well. Again, 4 goals in 4 games.
Yeah.
You can see there on the screen. For Brazil under 20 in the, again, it's called Sud-America. So the Sud-Americano sub-20. That is under 20. Again, fair to remember, Chelsea has spent £12.5 million to sign Andre, and he's a midfielder. This guy, again, he's some talent, really. When we talked about it, I think it was Esamano. I remember the name quite clearly in the chat saying he was going to leave on loan. I was so bitter. So again, same argument I had in the case of Dacho Fofana when we looked at his number. I said, again, his numbers, I said, this is not a talent to send out on loan. We shouldn't even be looking at Vlahovic since we have other players who will suffice in the number 9 role if he's not playing. And what's his name? The young talent that's injured now. Broha will still come back. Bobby, let me hear from you. Some good news here. He's doing quite well, and it helps our case as we push to get him a work permit. If you're there, Bobby.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem to get him a work permit, you know.
I hope so.
These things are government issues, and you know the processing, it will be what it will be. Thankfully, we're not in that much of a hurry. My understanding is that the club is confident. I believe in these matters, if you're able to show evidence and transparency, they will just process it. So, you know, it's not something that, okay, you apply for today and you get tomorrow. I've not heard of it being that simple. It's like anything else that involves a government process. It takes a little time. I mean, even when you renew your passport, that takes a week or 2. So unless you go there in person, and even then you've got to put in your application and get an appointment date to go there in person. So, and that takes a little bit of time. So we shouldn't be worried by this. The club is not worried either. What does worry me is people thinking he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. You know, this is a 18-year-old kid, and just like any of our players, young players, especially him, we have to allow him to settle in. He's, you know, I don't. Yeah, the showing in the under-20 competition is impressive for that level, but I was acutely aware of the fact that he was never in those videos seen to be beating presses. There just didn't seem to be any pressure on him at all. In fact, he was afforded quite a lot of space to go forward and score at least one of those goals that he scored when he came from his own half. So that is good. That's brilliant. He looks talented indeed. He's a very a good-looking prospect. But the fan base should be just a little patient. I mean, I'm hearing some Twitter posts that he can play with Enzo and so on and so forth. I'll say not quite. Just give him time. Give him at least a season. Then we'll see what he can do. He can see what he can do. Have a feel of the league, and so on. It's like Cesare Casade, the same thing. He came over. He's settled. I think he's clearly ahead of time because they've sent him out on loan to Reading, and he wasn't really meant to do that. He was meant to spend the whole season in the development squad and just learning the language and settling in with the culture and so on. So um, I would expect Santos to progress very quickly, but we must allow him to progress and take pressure away from him.
It's encouraging.
Yeah,
Though.
it has to be. It has to be again a gradual process. Like I've always said, I think we've always talked about discussed on this panel. When dealing with young players, you have to find a way to keep them hungry. You don't want to do it in a way that they feel like they've arrived. The moment that happens, they stop learning. But in this case, I think we can make do with him, and I think he's good enough to be part of the team. And here's one thing I want to say about that case you talked about where he had a lot of spaces. I think that comes down to his intelligence as a footballer. I think it was against Argentina. Correct me if I'm wrong. The opposition defense, they
It
were
was
busy
against Ecuador.
against Ecuador. Okay, they were busy readjusting because I saw the clip myself. They were busy readjusting, thinking that the Brazilians were going to keep going like for 1-2 or somebody else making a run, passing the ball, and he read the situation, knowing he'd be better off exploiting the space between the two central. Again, I think the central defender and the left back, and he did that quite well. Which I think it comes out. I get it. Yeah, you can say he had a lot of space, but he had the intelligence to see it and exploit it. Most people, even in our current 11, we still try to go sideways, and we still start again, still be looking for someone to play with. Yeah, but see, if that makes sense, my argument makes sense, Bobby. Again, we'll move on from that. There's something else I want us to talk about, but I want to get your thoughts on this kid, Emperor. Your thoughts on him. What do you think we should do with him? Do you think he's capable of, being part of the first team and helping us do stuff? And again, apologies in advance. Like I said earlier, I still haven't regained my voice properly. So I'll be reading quite a few, and in a moment I'll scroll to the very bottom. I'm seeing Wally Waldo, I'm seeing Dan Parson, I'm seeing a lot of the OGs here. Presley, Chidi, Blue London TV. Again, apologies to you all, but I'll try my best. And there's a comment from Bobby Fairview I highlighted. We'll look at it in a bit. And again, the Bluetooth game, I think I should have done what Roger said, not give that person in question an audience. Yeah, coach, that person was P.S. Morgan with a poorly disguised profile named. Nice try, bro. I love you so much, brother. Again, much love. Since I see the comments in advance, I should have just ignored it. And I know people in the chat are capable of dealing with it. As we grow as a community, like Landon said, more of this type of attacks will continue to come. It's as simple as that. But that's, by the way, moving from that one. Richard Evans, Bobby, you're correct again about the media. Yeah, I think I'm far too behind. So I'm going to do a lot of scrolling. King A, I hope you're doing well. And Blue London TV, again, Havas should take penalties. Again, his record is 18 for Chelsea. No, he missed one in the Super Cup final, if that makes any sort of sense. But it seems like he's the next in position to take that mantle from Jorginho. Next in line, I'm not sure. Again, I'm going to scroll past quite a lot. I haven't recovered fully. Wally Waldo, apologies. A lot of you, I won't be getting your comments. So, Emperor, your thoughts on Santos? What do you think we should do with him? Send him out on loan? It's late now. Are we allowed to send players out on loan the moment the transfer window shuts? I think no. I don't know everything. Again, and I'm not well acquainted as to the rules of the transfers and all that. But what should we do with him? Keep him? What? Just you go ahead. Where does it fit in the team, really?
When we see Santos, like I echo what Bobby said. The Premier League is a different animal, and that space and time is not going to be afforded to you. So I know he's going to be around better players like the Enzos, etc., our first team, etc. But we need to be careful. Like, we need to bring him in a position where he gets confident. like where he's gonna be allowed space, and then if for like a couple of games or a game, and then he reads a situation where you come on the last 20 minutes when we're winning 4-0, so
Mhm.
you understand and acclimatize to what you need to be doing. You understand that even if I make a mistake right now, I can recover and people can see me and the coach can work with me rather than we throw him in the deep end where he starts a game in a game where every Chelsea game is a must win, right? So when he makes a mistake, we lose, and we know how Chelsea fans are. We're just gonna go in his bag. He's not good as we thought. Yada yada. It's just international play. There's none of that, and his confidence gets shut down because he's a young kid. He's on social media. I would guarantee that. So I think we need to protect him. I need him to be integrated slowly as possible is better. But if it's a case where we keep him throughout the rest of the summer, where he plays in the academy in Cobham games for fitness, and then he plays first team in and out, in and out, in and out, slowly integrate him in when we have the chance. Because I don't think we're chasing top four, but it's not in our hands. So if we are in a good place in terms of we are winning games and we can afford him game time, I think we can integrate him slowly if he gets the permit as well. So there's a lot in play, but let's not ruin the kid's career. I would have loved for him to, to go to a good team. And me saying a good team, I don't want him to go to a relegation battle team. I want him to go to under a manager that can actually teach him stuff. The worst thing we can do to a talent is send him to a relegation team where everything is just chaos, everything is burning there. Like he doesn't know the instructions. He's supposed to be a hero or he's supposed to fall under pressure. But I would like him to go to a Brighton where he might replace Caicedo and be that player because players there of like, oh, you play for Brighton, you made a mistake, you can recover, bro, and go do better. Same thing that's happening to Colwell there. Like he's becoming an exceptional centre back, and people are talking about him bringing him back. But I think he needs another season. But yeah, man, like slowly integrate him in. He's a good player. I've yet to see him. That's another thing. Like you're only seeing highlights, and because he's a Chelsea signing, we're gonna see him.
Mhm.
So yeah, let's slowly, Yo, Temuco is tracking the Enzo flight.
A lot of people are. I think Liam Lane just sent me a photo. If we're not going to get a copyright strike, I think it's a private photo. Probably somebody's sharing here because it's from
Yeah.
inside a private jet. So I'll try and share that. Yeah. Again. Yeah. The more important thing is that it has to be gradual. You have to keep him
Yeah.
hungry. And I'm surprised you didn't say anything about keeping him hungry because that's your thing, really. Um,
Yo, coach,
right?
we win leagues with hungry players. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
No, but that's the truth. That's the truth. We have to keep the kid hungry, at least from the perspective of him, again, so that he doesn't feel like he's arrived. Because there's a lot of, you can say the truth remains, we didn't pay that much money about him, but there's a lot of hype surrounding his signing. We don't want that to get into his head. He's still 18. So we have to manage that carefully. But the question is how. I'll leave that to Potter's lawyer. Maybe he may have had that conversation with him. We want to know, Roger, how do we handle this one to keep the kid hungry, to keep him learning, not to make him feel like he's arrived, because that would be a huge mistake. And you could say scupper his development. But you go ahead.
It's gonna be like a Mendy. You see what's happening to Mendy?
Yeah, that's where I learned to use the term hunger. That's when you talked about Mendy.
Yeah, he
So
needs to
we have to
develop
be
also.
cautious.
Listen,
Sorry, go
he's
ahead.
8. He needs to develop. He's young
Mhm.
still. He's 18. In all fairness, look, he hasn't even finished, growing physically yet. So
He's a fetus.
yeah, he's a mere embryo. So seriously, he's going to have to adapt because in all likelihood, he's going to grow a little bit more. Perhaps not, but usually you do. You usually don't stop till you're at least 19, and so he's going through this growing spurt, and he needs to develop technically also. I'm not saying he's not technical, so please don't misinterpret that. But he has to, shall we say, work on his all-round game, and then also increase his football IQ, if you will, and adapt to different formations. Then this can come in many ways by on the training ground. If he's not getting enough playing time, then he may need to go out on loan. I mean, that could be the best thing for him for the first year. So you have to look at many things. If he does come to Chelsea and is afforded a work permit and does not go out on loan, then I believe Bobby's right. We have to wean him gently. We have to, I wouldn't say hold his hand, but we have to make sure that he remains hungry. That's correct. And I'm pretty sure he does, actually. Listen, if you're born a Brazilian, it's in your blood. It really is. And I say that with
Here's the question I have, Roger. Can you help us with understanding how do we handle it? Because he needs, again, it's looking more, again, I don't know the rules, again, the transfer window shut, which means, especially, again, the English transfer window, again, is closed, which means he can't go on loan to any English club. Or can he still go to the Championship? I don't know. Do you know the rules?
Not sure about, I don't.
Okay, let me just say, if he doesn't live on loan, how do we ensure he continues to develop if he doesn't get enough game time? So I think we would have been better off letting him go on loan if we're concerned about, again, I don't know how it's supposed for it to make sense. If he stays, it's important he gets game time.
Yeah, I get it. But also it could be just the actual being around the coaching staff, working with them, getting to know the players, getting to know what the coaching staff expects from you on the Cobham practice field, 5 times a week, developing him, maybe putting him into our under 21 team, where obviously he will excel, Listen, it's going to take, I'm not a professional coach. I wouldn't know, but I would assume that he's going to be put on
a part-time at least.
Seriously, he needs to be put on a program. They're going to have a development for him. They're going to have to strategize, sit down and determine, as they should with all of their players, by the way, especially the young ones specifically, that, listen, player A, he's this age, he has these attributes that are positive, these that are need improving, etc. And how do we go about it? They could be on loan or whatever. It could be many variants of that. Like we put them in the B team, whatever you want to call it. So there's many paths that a player can take, but they need to manage him very well on and off the field. So also language, but I don't know how good his English is. So there's many attributes. There's on the field and off the field, and if we have to make sure that he's comfortable off the field so he can concentrate on the field. So I hope we have good staff liaisons, and I'm pretty sure we do. But for the on-field purposes, he's going to need to be managed, and I think it needs to be expressed to him what his path is going forward. So communication is of the utmost importance.
Bobby, what happens now? If he stays, does it maybe for him to play consistently? But again, the level drops for him because his team, Vasco da Gama, I don't know how you pronounce it, they made it to the first division of the Brazilian league, right? Didn't they? Correct me if I'm wrong. Now he's played at that level. Wouldn't it be a drop in the level at which he's played if he continues playing with the youth team? So if he stays, he should be part of the first team because playing with a youth team doesn't really help him prepare for the first team. So again, it wouldn't make any sort of sense. But I'm sensing if we're keeping him, which means he's going to be part of the first team. But what do you understand is going on right now, and how do we ensure he plays? Because it's important that at 18 he has to be playing to continue developing.
Yeah, I think first of all, his role in Vasco da Gama was settled, and I think they're even the second division team in Brazil, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
but
I think he got promoted with them, but I'm not sure. But let's check. Go ahead. Right, I'll
But
check
that
for you.
notwithstanding, he's on an entirely different trajectory, totally different trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
He is here to play in the first team for sure, but he
Mm-hmm.
needs to be settled and made able to play in the first team. So his objective would be to play, to register with the development team. Now, yeah, he may play a few games with them. That doesn't hurt him. And while he's settling in, learning the language, he may also find ways to play. Will may also find him ways to play with the first team. I see him more as a next season active project. I think this
Mm-hmm.
season is a lot of waiting for his paperwork to come through, getting him settled, learning the language for whatever's left of the season. Come the summer, pre-season,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll really see what he can do within the first team setting. Now, that a lot of that depends on him. If he seamlessly fits into the first team, then he's going to find himself on the bench. You know, we didn't buy him for nothing. We bought him to try and use him. If he comes and he shows himself to be, head and shoulders above his years, then he's
Yeah,
going to be on the
correction.
bench.
Vasco da Gama is still in the second division. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I
Serie
thought
B,
so.
it's called.
So, that's, the comparison is not that dissimilar.
Mm-hmm.
So, if he comes and shows himself to be really um, worth it, then he'll find himself on the bench and playing. We've been here before, albeit with the other ownership. We've been here with Mikel. I think by the age of 18, 19, he had found his way somehow into bits and pieces of the first team and eventually established himself in the first team, I think, before he was 20. So I don't see this guy to be any different. You need to, if he has that quality, the space is definitely there. I think pre-season is going to be very interesting for him. That's where he will best start to show Potter and the rest what he's capable of. But in terms of rushing him, focusing on him, I don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't think,
A huge risk.
well, it's not necessary. I don't think it's right. I don't think Chelsea would encourage that either. And I can see, Chelsea's just being silent about him, push him in the background, let the kid breathe and find his way through, just like Real Madrid do. They pick up someone, you don't even see them for months. They're there in the stands and so on. And I think this guy, it should be the same. He shouldn't be a conversation in the sort of media echelons that
Bobby,
discuss players.
Bobby, do you think that's another reason why we extended Thiago Silva to the extension? So
Why?
so that he
Oh, you think it's
and
because of his development? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, maybe Thiago Silva could be like the older, experienced version of him, as well as Santos team Thiago Silva as like first team Brazilian player, captain, all of
I I think
how
Thiago
to
Silva
be that.
will. I think Thiago Silva will definitely be a part of his development. This is why we hung on to him. This is why we hung on to Aspie, really, um, to settle in and enable the transition of these young players.
Mm-hmm.
So most definitely, he will be there for that purpose. But once he's settled, then he can move on and perform. You do need that shoulder to lean on. Um, Even Madrid, to a certain extent, needs a bit of less pressure on him. Yes, he's come in. The kid is the consummate professional. He's got his own personal trainer, but he's a kid, and he shouldn't be pressurized. The good thing about sort of Eastern Europeans is it would seem to me that their sporting discipline is tremendous, especially from Ukraine. They seem to be very dedicated if they apply themselves to a sport, whether it be an Olympic sport or whether it be anything, boxing, they really put themselves into it. And if this kid does that, he will be very, very special indeed, really.
Yo, yo, Bobby, when you said Ukraine, the first thing that popped into my mind was Modric. Like these videos of him training, learning, they try. I'm trying to manage my expectation, but he's doing too much. He's getting me too excited, doing way too much. But
You're in
yeah, like I
trouble.
love.
Yeah, he is
We
very
are,
exciting. He is. But I would like to get excited when he's showing it in games and on the pitch. So that means he's there in real time doing the business rather than in training. A training video can make anyone look good. And also, what impresses me is the fact that he's staying back after training. That is always a good sign.
Mhm.
Lampard used to do that. Um, Franco Zola used to do that. And game time, it always pays. It always pays. And of course, if you look at the sort of superstars like Ronaldo in particular, Messi is more of a gifted type of player. So I'm not sure his training is, I know he trains well, but I don't think his training is as hard as Ronaldo's.
It's not as
Um,
regimented.
yeah, because these gifted. Look at Hazard. These people that are naturally gifted, they tend to be too relaxed. I mean, if they
Bobby,
trained, they'll be out of this world.
but Bobby, that's the thing I like about these, training videos that we see him working on his physique, etc., etc.
Yeah,
It shows a lot
and his
of
goal
discipline.
scoring as well.
Yeah,
Dedication.
it shows a lot of discipline and dedication, as well as it rubs onto your other players. Because I know Reece James loves gym. He lives for it, right? So when you have like a clique of players that are showing this dedication, it just makes the team more rounded and more fit. And these are young kids, like they're all in the similar age group, right? So they're probably into the same things, etc., etc. So I like it rubbing off to other players, and it becomes a staple in the dressing room, because that's a good recipe. Like I'm trying to manage my expectation, but I'm so excited for Chelsea in the future, guys. It's ridiculous.
He'll
Yeah,
certainly earn the respect of the team. I don't like generalizing, but I must say, every time I see a Ukrainian involved in high level sport, they always, I mean, they're very dedicated and very, very much into discipline and training. That's why they get to the top. And I can imagine he will go to the very top.
I hope so. Roger, can you take a minute to just quickly address this one, whether it makes sense for us to release Hakim Ziyech? I don't think it makes sense. Let me just give you some
Well, fiscally, it
information
wouldn't.
here. His contract expires in 2025.
2.5 years. Yeah, two and a
Yeah,
half
two
more
and a
years.
half years. So letting him go, it doesn't make a business sense in any way. We can still get the value from him, even if he stays with us until next year. Um, your thoughts on this suggestion here? I don't think it's a good idea. It doesn't make any sort of business sense, because if you decide to release him, you have to pay him some amount, right?
Affirmative, yes.
So you go ahead. I want you to address that.
It doesn't make fiscal sense to do that, because right now, if we cut him this moment, we have to pay him his entire salary for 2.5 years, unless they wish to come
Without him
to
doing anything for us.
unless they wish to have a mutual agreement. If he wants to be cut and he says cut me and I don't want a salary, or cut me and give me 1 year's salary, that can happen. That happened
Yeah,
with
they can have a conversation. Yeah, I think, let me just elaborate on that a bit. They can have a conversation,
mutual
and he
agreement.
wants to leave, and he said, okay, you know what? Instead of the 2.5 years, just give me one and a half, or just give me two. Keep
Or
the half.
zero. Or
Or
zero. Just make me a free agent, and then he can sign with anybody.
That's if he signs for someone else, he gets again the sign-on fee in bulk, and it matches what he would have gotten from Chelsea plus more. But I doubt that happens. But go ahead with what you were saying. Sorry, I
Yeah,
asked you a question and I didn't let you answer
no,
it.
no. I think, listen, he's going to be a very disappointed chap, you know,
In
all
what
joking
sense?
aside. Well, because of the fact that he wanted to go. He had his heart on
Oh yeah.
moving to PSG. Therefore, he's going to, listen, it happened to De Gea from Man United to Real Madrid. The fax machine was switched off for some reason. There was a technical problem. Seriously, this happened a few years ago.
No, I know this whole thing sounds funny. Sometimes you see the conspiracies that the club didn't want to sell. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get it. Or buy, whatever.
just go ahead. Yeah,
But,
or
but,
buy.
but,
Just go ahead.
but apparently, listen, it's this simple. He has to adjust himself. He has to come back and focus, put his head down and say, you know what? This is what you're missing, PSG. Come and get me in the next window. He has to work hard. He has to be a professional. He cannot sulk. He cannot throw a tantrum. He cannot be frustrated. You're a professional. You go to work. You put your boots on, and you bloody work hard. You're paid a lot of money. Otherwise, get used to this expression. Would you like fries with that shake? Otherwise, it's simple as that. You have to work hard because these are very highly paid, finely tuned athletes, and they're somewhat, shall we say, sport. When you compare them to the average socio-economic individual. So I hope that he realizes he's been blessed and he only has a few years left because he's on the wrong side of 30 now. So I hope he doesn't come back and is not totally frustrated where he's a, shall we say, he's a distraction in the locker room. We cannot have that. And he cannot have that for his career because that sends a bad signal anyway. So other clubs may be put off by that. Because this is, in essence, a team sport, not just an 11, it's a squad sport nowadays. So I am worried about his mindset coming back, but I'm hoping that, the staff will sit down with him and, motivate him. Hopefully he has that mindset and he's open-minded enough to say, and mature enough to approach this professionally. I mean, if not, then you know what? We might end up actually terminating him or coming to a mutual understanding because worst case scenario, this could be potentially ugly.
Yeah, and again, I'm just going to move on from the argument from Kimso that Ziyech wasn't going to play at PSG. If anything, they needed him. They don't have any player capable of finding him again badly consistently when he makes that run. Every time they find him, it's always from a close range pass, 1-2s and everything from Neymar and Messi. But for long range, I don't think they have somebody that does it consistently for him. He's the man that will increase that aspect. That if moment Mbappe starts running, he finds him consistently. But that's, by the way, I don't believe that he was never going to play. I don't believe in that. Let's again just quickly, Emperor, if you're still there, this one quickly. If you can, you take a minute and talk about it. Do you see Enzo starting on Friday? Do we still have Emperor here?
Just give me 2 minutes, sorry, coach. Just busy
All
on
right,
the call.
no problem. How do you start, brother? Bobby, if you're there, do you think Enzo starts again against Fulham on Friday? I don't think so. After
No,
all the whole stress and everything, but you go ahead. I'll let you answer the question.
no, no. At best, he's on the bench and comes on in the second half. Starting against Fulham doesn't make any sense, and that was why I questioned letting Jorginho go now. I understand it. Okay, they wanted money for him. Okay, 10 million of his fee can go to pay the first year of Enzo's fee, or is it his wages? I get it, but it gives us a problem. I mean, yeah, but he can't start. I mean, how? He's barely landed at Chelsea. What's the day? Wednesday. There's 2 days. I know João Felix did it, but it's not. Look what happened. It's not.
Yeah.
advisable.
conducive. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
the
it
West
would be
Ham
again
game
an
really.
added pressure. I see if again we needed him. He's all we need, and we can't do without him. It's an added pressure, really.
It's too desperate.
Yeah, yeah, desperation. Yeah, if again, that's another way to say it. Roger, you wanted to add to that, or should I move on?
No, I can see Bobby's point of view, and I do agree with it. But I could also see him starting, or at least coming off the bench, because he could be gung ho. He could be saying, you know what, I'm ready, and this is a London derby. I don't know. It all depends. Let's see how he does. I'm pretty sure he's going to have a light workout today, probably, and he'll probably be on the training pitch Thursday. It's a home game, isn't it? So they may have a morning session also on Friday, just a walkthrough. So it all depends. It depends on. Listen, he's been playing. Yes, he doesn't know. Probably it will take him a couple of weeks to get up to speed with, and it all depends on his English. I have no idea on how well he converses in English. So
Whether it's me know English or not.
no, but seriously, that could be an
No, I
issue,
get your point. I know. I just kidding. Yeah.
Because if you're on the pitch and a coach is telling you do A, B, and C, and then have to go through a translator, and that actually, shall we say, retracts, or detracts from the actual training session in some regard. It's better to be on the same page. Obviously, there are people that speak Portuguese in our camp, but still, it all depends. Communication could be a problem, but also it would be the prudent thing for him not to start. But let's see. I don't look at it as pressure. I don't at all. It's just, again, this is what he's paid for. However, you're right. It's only 48 hours or so before a match, and realistically,
so you don't. Let me just. Maybe there's something I need to learn there. You don't think, for instance, in the case of João Felix, he probably, we told him we needed him, and then he comes in just 15 minutes after he arrived. Of course, I'm exaggerating. Yeah, exactly. And joined. He feels like I'm the one they want me to help them win this game.
Yeah, but
everything is on me now. I have to help them. So yeah,
we have a history. We have a history of red cards. Look at Conor Gallagher, one of his first or second starts, but he's been here for years. You have a look at Koulibaly. He got 2 reckless yellows in a game. It's like, and that wasn't his first game. It happens. You're adjusting to the league. It's going to happen in your first, your 5th, your 10th. It's in all likelihood. It's not a guarantee, but depending on, well, listen, he's very young, so he can adjust to the speed because your reflexes are faster by human nature. So he could adjust to the game very well. He could adjust very poorly. We don't know. So listen, he's not the only person that has never, started or plays and gets carded or sent off. So it's to be expected, So I don't blame it. Like, for instance, João played in his first game. Let's say he was here a couple of weeks and then he plays in his first game. That could still transpire. You don't know. So I don't believe in that. I thought he's just gung ho. He's young. He's motivated. The adrenaline's pumping. And you see that with mature players like a Koulibaly. So that logic, I see where it applies, but I can also see it where it doesn't apply.
Wow, you just took some big words, big English words, and dismantled my argument right before my. No, I'm just kidding. But again, your argument makes sense. I wouldn't technically call it, see it as an added pressure, but you can say adrenaline.
It depends on the individual, coach. It's every player is individualistically different, correct? In their mindset, in their physicality, in how they approach games. So, he could be a very mature young man. He could be highly immature. Who knows? But I get the precaution. I really do. I understand it. And if I was the coach, I would, in all likelihood, 95% plus, would not start him. It's more prudent to do that.
Yep. Again, thank you so much for saying that. I don't know if
anybody 5 minutes, coach.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Did you remember the question I asked you? I don't remember whether again it will make sense to start Enzo on Friday against Fulham. And you could say even I and Roger agree this time. I am the gang, and it looks like you're in their gang actually. Because you hardly agree with me, but go ahead.
I don't know what Roger said. I didn't hear the last parts of it, but I would say no. A firm no. He hasn't trained with the squad. There's a lot he doesn't know, etc., etc. Let him relax, man. Watch the game. Be at the bridge. Let us scream out his name from the stands. Let him feel the love from the stands first, and watch the game. And the only thing you can do to him is like pre-coach him. Like this is where you would fit in. You understand? Like bro, you see how X is struggling right there. This is how I would want you to move, etc., etc. Like view
Do
the
clubs
game.
do that nowadays? I haven't seen that coaches do that in a while. But go ahead. But I understand what you're saying. I've seen that approach before, and it does work. But go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot from Pep. This is the only manager I know who does it a lot. He does it a lot. He tells his players, "Yo, sit here, watch. This is what I want X, Y, and Z to be doing." I've seen Arteta for a couple of players as well, but yeah, like he can stamp his authority. I mean, he's the gaffer. He's number one. So I think he needs to be like eased in. This is the Prem, guys. I don't want him to go face Fulham and then get an injury. He just got here, so let it sink in first for him. His game time. Let him understand all the players, etc., etc. I think we did the same thing with Mudryk. He might come on off the bench, but I don't even want him to come off the bench. Like I just don't want him. I know we're struggling in midfield, but like it's a catch-22 because I don't want to throw him into the Lions Den like just off the spot. Like it's gonna ruin a lot. I don't want his confidence to go down. Remember Saul?
Negroes, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want that to happen to him. Like we just throw him in, and he's like he doesn't know what's going on, what's left, what's right. He needs to now work through the game. So let's slowly get him into speed, understand the training regime, etc., etc. What's needed from him to be better or better his game in the Chelsea shirt. So yeah, man, let's not rush him. He's here. He's already here.
You want to use Saul as an example, but after he was taken off in the first half, look, he was taken off again. He was pathetic, ongoing. He just wasn't a good fit for the team. He could have sat here for half the season and never set foot on the pitch. He would have still been.
I get that.
Roger, I know you want to go to heaven. Just give him some credit. He picked up at the time. He started doing well.
Please, but he was horrific. He was horrendous.
I understand Saul's the worst example.
Let me just say this quickly. My friend,
he's not exactly Pele, is he?
My friend Uncle Justas, Uncle Justas from Uncle Justas YouTube channel. If you haven't, please go check out his channel.
Sure.
And subscribe. He said then, "I'm sorry." Clearly, that's I quote and I quote. "I'm sorry if Saul Niguez comes, Kovacic has got to go. We'll be the one to go." And I was like, "What?" What?
Really?
Yeah. And later on, but I like him. He's the type that if he makes such mistake, if he says something and gets it wrong, he comes up and I say, "I was wrong." And later he admitted he was wrong. Yeah. That's why I and him were very good friends. And I said, "Remember this. I'm going to remind you." So when I reminded him, he said, "I'm so sorry I said that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what my point is that I get Saul is the wrong example, but my example
big time
on the focus of saying I don't want his confidence to be knocked down because of a game that he was rushed.
Sure, it's best to be prudent, but you know what? These are young, very young people that stuff like this. It's water off a duck's back. Like, I mean,
yeah, but not all of them though. Like Bobby said, like we need to player manage each one of them.
No, exactly. We need to manage them. I agree, but in all aspects of their life, in so many regards and facets, I get that. But some players are resilient. Some people are resilient.
Yes, 100%. But I don't want to take that risk.
It's as simple as that. If we lose that game or if we draw that game, nothing changes.
Yeah, like even if we don't start for this game, not we 10th. Like it's okay.
No, it's not
come
actually.
Here's what I wish I'm able to laugh as hard as I feel like laughing. But what I do is usually I read the comments in advance and I hold myself and just feel like this comment here, it's a bit funny, but it makes it is the truth indeed. It says regardless again whether it was a home or away game, there's not much distance between the two grounds, regardless. Regarding travel time. So yeah, it's not really. It doesn't differ that much. Sorry if you were still saying something, Emperor.
No. I was just gonna say, like, when a player is just jet lag, he just flew in. I know he's a professional, he's an athlete. There's a lot, but we also need to manage it. Like, we need to be respectful of him settling first, because this man doesn't even have a house.
And there's something else we haven't talked actually. We have players in the team. We have a team, and there are other players who play in that position. They probably feel like they should be starting the game against Fulham, and boom, because you paid that much money for a player, a new player, you start that player again.
That comes with the territory, the mindset.
It depends on that could cause a problem. It depends on how good the player in question is.
No, because that comes with the territory. When you're playing from a 5-6-year-old or an 8-year-old, and you go through the actual every year or two, you go through a contract as a junior in an academy. At any moment in time, you may not be given an ongoing contract for the next year or 2 years. So because you have to produce. So throughout your career depending on your position, up to the age, if you're lucky enough to play up to 40, that you are given a contract based on your performance.
No. I think you misunderstood my question.
Okay.
Did I jump in somewhere else? Again, Emperor, you're still talking about playing whether Enzo plays on Wednesday or not, right?
Friday
or not, so to speak. Yeah. So my question is again, starting him. Let's look beyond him adapting first before he starts and all that. Again, there's something. Can I just use actually cause a problem in the dressing room, because you have to drop somebody who's been working with the team for a while, just like that.
But that's okay, go on, you drop.
I was just gonna say, Roger, like, I understand where you're coming from. Like, you have to fight for your space. He's here, etc. Right? But this is where I say we need to manage the mentality, because when he's here, they already know that we dropped a big bag on this guy to come start. There's no if, buts, or maybes, right? But for him to just walks in like he owns the place. Like, what about us?
Yeah, you're sending the wrong message.
But listen, gentlemen. As I said, okay. Sure.
I understand. Like, I'm touching a couple, but the thing is, right? When he gets here, he's gonna start. Whether it's now or tomorrow, he's gonna start. He's gonna be number one in that. Right. But what I want to happen for the players that are already there, show me something, because your time is up. Like, this is the last game you probably have to show me something, to show me that at least you're going to play with him.
So in other words, you have the chance of getting that is a very good performance from the players that were there before he arrived, because they see there's competition now.
Well, gentlemen, there's competition ever since you've decided to put on boots as a child in an academy.
Yeah, but sometimes something like this needs to happen for you to see the best out of
let me drop. You guys are going. Let me drop, as you would say.
And drop safely. Don't land so hard. Go ahead.
Their mindset is how should we say it? It functions that way from a very early age. Mm-hmm. Especially if you were brought up in, like you see a lot of players where their sons turn out to be professionals. They understand whether you're an offspring of a professional or not. You understand at a very early age that your longevity in any particular sport is based on your ability to perform. Whether someone comes in, you know what, if that's the case, what you just said, it's going to hurt their ego. Well, you know what, those are prima donnas.
No, I'm not talking about ego. No, it's not about ego. You're saying you're showing they're not. Roger, do you think it's okay? Would you feel all right? Okay, so you've been training with the team, and then a new player comes in, boom, the manager drops you to the bench for you to start.
Coach, so let me drop. You said I let you drop, so I'm telling you that you're talking about players that are already currently playing. Well, if they're going to get offended or get their little hair bent out of shape because player A comes in, you know what? Then we need to hold their hand off, going off to the training room to get their. No, let me do your boots for you. No, oh, you want to go to the restroom? Let me wipe your behind for you. No, these are grown people. They're adults. They understand. 100%. Just like you're a gladiator, you go into the Coliseum.
Let me rephrase it, Roger. Let me maybe rephrase what I said.
Can I just say this, Coach?
Go ahead, Emperor.
Save your voice, Coach. We need you for the long season.
Go ahead, brother.
We signed you on an amortization type of deal, right?
Exactly.
Go ahead, Emperor. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what we're saying, right, Roger? 100%. When you put on that Chelsea shirt, you should be playing your heart out. You should be leaving it on the field. 100%, right? But the thing is, with our squad right now, they haven't done that, I don't know for how many games. You get what I'm saying, right? And yes, if you're going to be a prima donna about it, get out of my club immediately, right? But this is what we are doing, right? We have a bloated squad. I don't know how many players we have.
35,
right?
34.
Yes. So the thing is, we want a situation where we don't create groups of players, where it's the groups that came in today. They are the new group and the old players. We don't need that. We don't need Player FC at Chelsea. We need Chelsea Football Club, right? And to minimize that is to give everybody ample opportunity, right? Now, what I'm saying is that when you don't play Enzo, you're doing two things, and it is an advantage, right? You're keeping the squad cohesion completely fine. Number one.
Thank you. That's my point. It's not about how they feel. It's not about their feelings.
Wow, whatever, gentlemen. You know what? I'm telling you conversely. If they're not
no, Roger, you've dropped, and I'm sure you've dropped something.
You guys interjected. When can I say I can finish? No. If they are that fragile, gentlemen, as professionals, then they don't deserve to be in any team. You're being so pedantic about their psychiatric welfare and their ego. Are you kidding me, gentlemen? You've got to be joking me. Yes, I do understand that you do. This is a squad game. I say this day in, day out. In any sport, there is obviously not an individual sport like golf, for instance. I'm talking about a team sport that varies from, let's say, a couple of dozen to 25, 26 on the average in football, let's say. Yes, you have to have cohesion where you have one bad apple and it rots the locker room. I understand that. I understand what is required, like you need leadership, etc. I do. I comprehend that. I'm smart enough to understand that. However, and I get your logic, and I do register what you're saying, and I don't dismiss it. But you are actually saying that, it could rock the boat in essence. And I am saying politely and respectfully, if a person coming in, regardless of what day of the transfer window, comes in and is deemed to have rocked that boat for stability's sake within the locker room, then they shouldn't be playing for any club, no matter what anyway. Then they're not team players. Because as I said, from a young age, from them putting on boots, going through an academy, invariably, they understand that their longevity is based on their production.
100%, right?
Roger, you're seriously on fire this morning, but I'll make you understand my point.
Being honest.
I don't care. No, I know. You're always objective. That's one thing. Sometimes you even implicate your own client. But that's by the way. Here's the thing, Roger.
I want to end,
try
right?
and see things from a leadership perspective.
No, I have. And I said I acknowledge that. I have said just within the last 30 seconds, I acknowledge and understand what you have said. But
it's not about their ego for me. It's not about how they feel. It's about also, there's a chance if you start Enzo, you're actually sending the wrong message to him. To him, it could be bad for his own good. Actually, if that makes any sort of sense.
No,
you don't want to make him feel like it's about you.
And
We've always worked for you.
That.
It's him coming to you, everything. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, let me save my voice, please. It's getting worse, actually. Go ahead, Emperor. But I wanted this debate with Roger so badly, but I can't. Emperor, just
Suck
go.
it up, coach. Suck it up.
Roger, we need to terminate our coach's contract because he's not.
We're
He
muted.
doesn't want to hear. He doesn't want to hear, right? But this is why I love, debating with people.
yeah.
And there are some delicious, again, like these comments. I would love to leave them. I've read it, but I just couldn't laugh because I'm trying to help myself. But apologies, guys. I won't be reading too much today. Go ahead, Emperor, because we have a few minutes and there's things I really want us to look at. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say, right, the first point, 100%, right? I emphasize that if you don't want to play for Chelsea and you're gonna cry about it, get out of my club, 100%. And this is, I don't want to get into it, but like, it's my problem with Ziyech. It's 100% problem with Ziyech and Pulisic.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yes. So, the second part is that
They sulk, don't they?
yes, you can see it in their body language, the way they maneuver. This is why I was like, get two wingers.
The body language.
Yeah,
the body
Roger,
language.
let him go because we don't have too much
You
time.
could be blind and you can see the body language. I get it.
100%. This is why I want to bring the second part, right? Enzo, right? I don't want him to have a big head. I do not want that from him. I want him to be confident, but I don't want him to be a big head because that's what we saw from Mendy. Mendy saw that I cannot be dropped. So I can get away with murder on the pitch, regardless.
Complacency.
Yes. So this is why I'm like, you come in, sit there, bro. The Potter already said, bro, I want you, right? Sit there for one game and see what I want you to do. Relax, calm down, find a house, find an apartment. Probably, I don't know what Enzo is about. Like maybe that's food, maybe it doesn't.
Take a break from all the back and forth between Benfica, you get traveling and all that.
So basically, we should not have sent this private jet to him. We should have actually flown him. Not even coach. We should have put him in cargo.
Not to that extent because we really need him.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Not to that extent because we really need him. But I don't want him to be felt like, nah, I'm the star boy. Yes, he's the star boy. The price has set it, right? But yeah, like we need to manage his mentality as well. Like this is very crucial because if you say you the shot caller at Chelsea and nothing is above you, that's so like it's gonna make a huge dynamic in that dressing room.
Yeah. Let's just take this moment and discuss the final items because usually around this time. And sorry, we started 1 hour late. I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to do the show today, but I took hot water and honey. It helps. But I've now aggravated the situation again. It's getting worse. But I think since we'll be hosting just a show per day now, I think I'll get better. And we'll start a new show, which again, where we have just two panelists. I think it's either Mondays or Tuesdays, or just Mondays or just Wednesdays, or just Mondays and Wednesdays, or just Mondays, or just Wednesdays or Mondays, where we have two panelists and both must be on camera. So we have to mix it up a bit. That starts in this February. So I want to apologize for skipping your comments. I've seen some good comments from my friend.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to add, right? And I see on the comment section, right? Somebody said Felix just walked in. What happened to Felix, guys?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, even though again we argued that he shouldn't start, and Roger was part of that debate. Yeah, but let's move on from that. Again, I see all your comments, but I can't read that much right now. Apologies. Again, greetings to everyone. I apologize that I can't read everything. And I saw something from Itkami where he says, "Look what Enzo is doing to us." Because again, at least we're having the conversation because he's here. Yeah, look at that one there. Look what Enzo is doing to us. Much love to you, Itkami. Unfortunately, I can't read too many stuff today because
Coach Kami is an Arsenal fan.
No, it's Kami. No, it's Kami. It's Kami. It's a Chelsea fan.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe not the person you think. I think you're mixing the name up. But let's talk about this one right here. Did I share the screen already? Just give me 1 second. Did I really? Just give me 1 second. I have to do so in a beat. Let's talk about this guy. It will be nothing bad. I think we can still get him. The price isn't out of this world. Just give me 1 second. My screen. And I'm going to start with you since I'm with you. And Bobby knows you have about just about 5 minutes to round up, but this one isn't working. Okay, yeah, there you go. This one right here. You can take a minute, Emperor, and talk about him, and then I'll get a Roger start. It will show up in a bit because I'm switching to the other screen there to share what we have there. And sorry, it's taking too much time. Let's see. Maybe I'll do this.
Different software or something.
No, it's same software, but again, a lot of bells and whistles so that everything will be seamless. If that makes sense, yeah.
Roger, this is what I was telling you, that he's becoming complacent, isn't it? Coach is becoming complacent.
I'm telling you.
We needed to look at his contract. Like, it's very imperative.
Yeah, Emperor, look at the one in question. Nothing bad there. I think we'll just have to move on to the next topic line there. This one says Asan Zarayan will have a release clause in his contract this summer for the top 5 leagues clubs. It will be 25 million euros. That's not bad, really. I hope you guys can still see my screen. 25 million euros is not bad given his talent. What do you think? Just with a minute, can you let us know what you think? Nothing bad there, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. But my thing is, I think this deal will depend on Felix. I 100% think this will depend.
Felix is it? Zarayan is more like a 10, more like a 10 and an 8 than Felix is.
10. Felix is a 10. Like,
well, Felix says he prefers to play as a second number 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can say that. It's the same.
He's a fine creator, so it makes sense. But go ahead.
Yeah, he can say that. It's the same thing as Harvard said. It's like, oh, I can play as a 9. Oh, I can do this. Bro, you a 10. Like, we know your game. Don't. I know you want a lot of starts, but and etc. You did what you did at Atletico, etc. You develop your game to another level, but naturally you are a 10, and I feel like if Felix at Chelsea plays a different role towards that 10, then maybe he can come in. But if he sits at that 10 and he does what you want, coach, the young Mata thing, I think he's going to be doing at Chelsea, then I don't see that kid coming in because he's going to battle with Felix, and I don't want that battle to happen.
So you really do think that Felix can become that 10 we're looking for?
He's so good. He's so good.
Yeah, we know how good. It's no question. Yeah, but
yeah, we saw
again. So you're saying we should forfeit the pursuit of Zarayan?
Not yet. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
This is why it depends on Felix. Like, if Felix balls out in that 10 position where maybe he's behind a Kai Havertz or whatever, Aubameyang or whatever, or Fofana, like whoever is going to be playing that 9, and he just balls out and creates and helps Chelsea in the final third, right? Link up play, etc. I don't see us going for him unless we want to put squad depth, and the Atletico feel like they want to keep the player, and the player doesn't love London, which I don't think is going to happen. But I think that depends on him. Like, I really think, unless Potter has a different plan, and Roger would answer that. But I think it really depends on Felix. But coach, I'm sorry, but I have to love and leave you guys.
We're actually rounded up. Yeah, thank you, Emperor. I wish you all have time to join us. Always very articulate, and you know your stuff. So always good to have you around. I know you have access to where the link. We share the link every time. So whenever your time allows, please feel free to join us. You're always welcome. But if you miss too many games, we will release you. If that makes sense.
Big up. Hope you become good. Love everybody. We're building something.
We're building something special. Much love.
Yeah, indeed.
I can't lie. But big up Roger. More debates to come for everybody. And Roger, tell your client he needs to start with. That's it.
A pleasure.
Roger, before we call it a day, your thoughts, if you want to speak about Asan Zarayan, you go ahead. So we can call it a day. I'm already late, actually.
Yeah, I'll be very brief. I honestly think that I understand. Yeah, I see him more as a number 8 too, on the wing. Also, I think he's very versatile. So let's see. He could be a number 10 also. I'm not disputing that. Gentleman's right. It really is up to João Felix. I like Felix a lot from what I've seen.
But here's the thing. My argument is that he said openly he prefers, again, playing as a second number 9. But Potter has some work to do to figure out how he's going to put everybody to good use. Because I think we should, no matter what happens, even if Felix stays, I think we should sign Arsene. The boy is good. You could argue he's a mashup of Cesc and Kevin De Bruyne. He's got good vision. And I like his confidence. Him saying openly he wants to come again and compete with Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, and he named one more player. But go ahead.
So let me ask you a question. The gentleman that actually you shared the screen about has to be top 5. How good is that source? I don't know who that person was.
Which one?
When you shared the previous screen where it actually said that Arsene Zakaria.
For the top 5 league clubs, again, it will be, I think that is the buyout clause is for certain league
is that confirmed?
Clubs.
Yeah, is that confirmed?
There's no way to tell if that's the case.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
If anything, we're getting from there is that he's going to have a buyout clause because he's attracting interest from big clubs.
Because if that's the case, making top 5 may not be achievable. We may end up being 6th or 7th, which could. How many years does he have on his contract left?
I'm not sure, but I'll check for you. I think I still have about a minute or so before I run.
Well, you don't have to answer it now, but I'm thinking that guess what? We may actually have to end up coming in hard for him if we really want him. But he's a young player.
We really do want him, but it looks like we've cooled down interest in him. There's no even telling whether the club would still go back for him.
Who knows? But it'd be great if we could have him. I mean, he's supposed to be amazing. I haven't really seen him play ever, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, you should check him out. I think he's a good kid. Every now and then I do watch Russian the league where I see them, but I don't pay too much attention there. Just 1 second.
But he has to change his passport, his nationality also, doesn't he?
I don't think he'd do that.
Well, then how has he come to?
You don't. Again, you know the situation there. I don't think it makes sense for him to try to do that. It will seem as if you're not loyal to the country, or something like that. See what you're doing because you want to go play. His contract is in 2024.
Oh,
so except if they extend his contract, but I think we weren't able to navigate the political issues to sign him. And we don't want to do anything. It would seem as if what we did, because this is again, it's bigger than the FFP and all that. You can't say again you'll find a loophole to navigate again and do what you want to do again. You could say a loophole to navigate the government sanctions. You're creating a problem. I don't think the club are again the hierarchy at the club. They don't want to risk that.
I'm not sure then how we can come and work in England. Because I think
maybe he ends up not coming to us, or hopefully the conflict comes to an end, which I want that to end because lives are being lost from both ends. No matter who started it first. And I think that's it, Roger. I'm going to end this quickly. I'm going to help my boy go to school and take him to school. But we'll still do a transfer review. We haven't done that. Maybe later in the day we'll do that again. Thank you to everyone that has found the time to join the show. I appreciate Bobby. Appreciate Emperor, appreciate Roger, my brother. I appreciate the beautiful game, the Prince, everyone else in the chat. Unfortunately, I couldn't read that much today. You know, I enjoy reading your contributions because I'm losing my voice. And hopefully I feel better. Maybe I'll decide to forget about the evening show so that I'll recover very well. We can do the transfer again, the transfers again review tomorrow morning during the Blue Morning Show. Thank you so much. God bless us all. See you guys next time, and bye.
Cheers.